that loses. That's code 1620. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. One offer per new customer. First qualifying pick set winnings less entry fees must generate negative number. Max reward up to $100 equal to amount of negative number. Issued in non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits valid for Pick 6 use only. Expire after 1 year. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Valid only in states where DraftKings Pick 6 operates. For up-to-date list of states, please visit dkng.co/pick6states. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com.
Join me, Jimmy Allen, for the Creighton Athletics Hour. We'll be talking all things Blue Jays and interviewing your favorite coaches, so you don't want to miss it. It's the Creighton Athletics Hour, Thursdays, starting at 6 o'clock, only on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and your 1620 The Zone mobile app.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
A crossover is crossover dribble. Sing for the crossover. Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time. Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul. Crossover. Double crossover. Crossover continues to evolve.
Crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. What's up, boys?
Yo.
How we doing today?
Good.
Brian Hoyer packed his best flannel for Good Morning Football.
Wow. We had Brian Hoyer sighting.
Nothing but illustrious guests the day before the Super Bowl on NFL.
It's like the A crew all in Vegas, and so you're like limited on what you can get in studio.
Look, Schrager's still there.
Hoyer would be the one guy, if you said, hey, guess his age, I could go probably like there'd be.
He's 28 or 38.
I could go between 25 to like 45.
Yeah, I'd say probably somewhere in the middle there. My guess would be that Brian Hoyer is 36 years old.
Nick?
Oh, I'm going to say, yeah, that's a good number. I'll go slightly. I'll say 34.
He is 38.
Woo! Oh, we're both wrong. Yeah, see, for 38, he still looks youthful. And see, that's the part about shaving the head, but still being able to like have the
good move,
a little bit of the facial hair, but it's not like, he doesn't really show any grays there. So you just don't really know. Yeah, he does.
Shout out to Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer. How about that? Brian Hoyer just leading things off here on the crossover.
Also, I love these. They all go to Vegas or obviously wherever the Super Bowl is, but it's in Vegas this year. And like right now we're watching the NFL Network and it's dark because it's very early.
It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah. It's very early in the morning.
And it's cold.
And this is probably recorded 2 hours ago.
Yep.
So yeah, cool. Let's get.
I have noticed that. I've seen a lot of like, this person has arrived in Vegas and you can see their breath on the tarmac.
Yeah. Well, the Dan Patrick show starts at what time? Like 7 or 8?
I think it's 7.
And yeah, so they're looking at starting at like 5 or 6 in the morning.
So we were going to do we got invited to, because I think we actually then extended to you guys and Jimmy Allen ended up doing it.
For the fight,
for the Crawford fight. Yeah. And what I told them because this was also running into Big Ten Media Days. So you and Gary were out there, but we were going to try to possibly make it work. And then when I told the guy, yeah, we are on the air at 6 a.m. and he's like, ooh.
It's even a problem for media days. Now when it was in Chicago, it was a real stretch to get in there at 6 o'clock in the morning. But in Indy, it's an hour east. It's on East Coast time. So it's at least a little more reasonable, but still nobody's there.
No.
Yeah, still nobody's there.
Well, especially think about Vegas too, where most people are probably calling it a night when you would have to be going on the air.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, it's too early. People won't be up yet.
Let's do a morning show in New Orleans during
day.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
It's like, here comes the power washer down the street.
I don't
wipe off the sins of last night.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, look at those chunks.
Still going on.
Yeah. So there's just certain things that I think we've accepted in this time slot that we will not be able to do. And that's doing a morning show on the West Coast.
Our takeaways from this time slot are lunch is forever changed.
Yeah.
Lunch is my favorite meal of the day. Unless of course we get pizza on pizza day. That is,
okay.
Pizza will show up invariably at some point.
Isn't today National Pizza Day?
Yes, we'll be receiving pizza today at some point.
I saw that. What kind of? Do we know where the pizza's from?
Cops, I think.
Oh, it's Cops. Okay.
I guess I would assume.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay.
Forgot I was gonna bring some cash.
But lunch changes forever. You gotta eat because I love lunch, but I don't really love breakfast that much. Breakfast makes me sleepy, and then so you got to figure out a way to eat lunch at 8:30 in the morning. And it's difficult. And you want to eat dinner at 3:30.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the takeaways of our slot. You guys have significant takeaways in your schedule. The afternoon show gets done at 6.
Yeah. I was more used to the afternoon one because I did that for so long. But the morning part, other than weekends, I'm never usually a huge breakfast, like a heavy breakfast guy. Like I'll coffee and maybe like I don't know. Like some type of breakfast bar.
Small.
Or something.
Something small. You can't go big breakfast.
Right.
Can't go big breakfast.
But now it's like when I get home, I have the combination of my lunch hunger and breakfast hunger because all I've had is coffee. It would be easy to eat something like on my way here, like a breakfast bar, but I'm not like at 5 in the morning. I'm not there yet.
What I found when I was doing a morning show is that if you get into, if you accidentally fall into the routine of like, hey, you know what? I'm done. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's take a nap for an hour. You'll never leave it.
Day shot.
And then the naps will get longer and longer and longer. And all of a sudden you'll wake up at 2 o'clock and ask where you are.
Yep. I've had to break that habit. First, like probably the first couple months, I would come home and nap a little bit.
You can't do it.
And then
you got to just grind through it.
Yep. And then when it got nicer out, I'm like, screw it. And I was training for the half marathon. I decided just do my run as soon as I get done, and then I'll have more energy.
Yeah.
As opposed to when I wake up, I'll have energy to do it because you're right. I'm like, I don't have any energy.
Nope, not a thing that you want to get into.
I had a sandwich after the show yesterday, so I had a cutie for dinner last night. Because
that sounds delicious.
I never got hungry after.
People don't talk about this.
Dinner.
They're like, "Oh, guys, your job is so easy. All you do is talk about sports all day."
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like lunch, and I want to eat dinner at not 3:30.
Yeah, I'm just conflicted.
So
on when
our
to
lives
eat and
are
what to
real
eat.
hard, and we don't get enough credit for that.
That's true. It is true. When you guys are all enjoying
I have to wait 2 hours after dinner to watch Jeopardy.
Well, you can watch an 8 o'clock basketball game, wraps up at 10 o'clock, and then you can continue to watch more programming.
That's true.
I got to shut it down. I got to be in bed.
Yeah.
If I care
That's
about
what I'm
myself.
saying. Come on, guys. Give us some credit here.
Yeah.
Lives are very difficult.
Hey, every occupation has challenges.
Very, very, very difficult.
Some may not seem as big as others.
I got made fun of the other day because I told somebody that I was watching Jeopardy, and then I decided that I wanted to keep watching Jeopardy. 6 o'clock comes around, watch Jeopardy every day. Josh records Jeopardy, if I'm not mistaken.
Whoa, so you watch it live and you record Jeopardy?
I watch Jeopardy every day.
You guys compare notes the next day and be like, what'd you think about that answer?
Sometimes we're like, hey, how about that game yesterday?
If there's an exciting game or a sports category.
Yeah. And so I'll watch Jeopardy. And then sometimes I decide I really want to keep playing Jeopardy. I did a really good thing. So I record all of the other Jeopardies that I may have missed somewhere along the way. And I went back and watched a few more Jeopardies.
You ever go back to like when Aaron Rodgers was hosting? Do you go, is your vault?
No, it's not that deep. Just recent, like within the last 2 weeks, probably. Okay. If I missed one or two, you stack them up.
This explains a lot.
I watched the celebrity final after my regular watching of Jeopardy a couple days ago.
You guys are usually on point. This explains a lot now with a little bit of the Jeopardy love.
Well, we're old.
It's appointment television.
I just really like Jeopardy. I don't know.
I'm older than both of you.
I think Ken's doing a great job. I love Ken Jennings.
Perfect replacement host.
He's doing an awesome job.
Well, wasn't that the big like misconception is so in order to do this the right way with Jeopardy, and Alex Trebek. Like you've got to replace him with a huge name celebrity, like someone that's going to unite everyone together.
Ryan Seacrest.
Nope.
Yeah. Like
Nobody ever wanted that.
Right. And I mean, was Alex Trebek that guy when he first started out? No.
You got to get a smart.
He became who he was through the show.
A smart, quick guy.
Yes.
Where when he tells people say they all get it wrong or nobody buzzes in or whatever, when he says it, it's like he knows it.
He knows it.
Right.
You can believe that he knows it.
Yeah. He presents himself in a manner that he
is the key to Jeopardy.
I agree.
Aaron Rodgers, I didn't think he knew anything.
No,
he didn't know. He probably thinks he knows.
Exactly, and he wants you to know, or at least think that as well. Have you seen him on McAfee? But I think that the Ken Jennings name, as long as now that we can kind of ride the consistency wave on this.
Yes.
Like in a decade or so,
it's
maybe
Ken time.
We will hold him in a similar regard as we held Alex Trebek, because he's just the face of Jeopardy.
Yeah.
I think that's the goal. You don't need to overthink it. You
That's
just need
right.
to find the perfect fit there.
Send this to Ken. Ken, you're my guy. We love it. We love when you host Jeopardy. Thank you. Good job.
So you're going to have to fill me in on this because I haven't paid close enough attention to it. Why am I just blanking on her name?
Mayim Bialik.
Yeah, she's still doing it?
No, she's out.
She's out. Okay.
She's out.
Which again was confusing when you have
She was usurped
hosts.
by Ken.
Yeah, co-hosts or dual hosts of that show. It's almost like you're competing to see, like you're throwing both at the wall and hoping one of them sticks.
Yeah.
I
One of them did.
One of them did.
And one of them did, yeah.
It worked. It worked out. Right now, just Jeopardy update. Right now, they are in tournament time. Everything's a tournament. I turn in every day and it's like something tournament.
Champions wild card.
Tournament of champions. So it's all happening right now.
Doesn't Brian Hoyer, by the way, look like he could be like a Vegas DJ?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like if you just threw some cans on him right now, he'd be like, oh yeah, that's
I could see him going like this.
That's
and
DJ Hizzy.
Yeah. Taking one of the earbuds off.
He kind of has the look.
I'm just going like this.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, he'd be an approachable DJ.
Definitely.
Like one that would be kind of like the everyman DJ, but yeah, he looks like he'd be a DJ.
Once again, we'll talk about this later with our guest who's covering the 49ers in Vegas, but we talked about it yesterday. 7 days, whatever you're going to be there. If you're there Monday to Monday, if you're actually staying through the game, too long in Vegas.
Well, some of your old coworkers, friends.
Yeah, that's what I told them. I said, Jake,
are they there?
What are you doing?
Are they there till? Are they leaving today?
They're leaving either today or tomorrow.
Okay, so they're not staying through Sunday.
Yeah, well, that's why his Super Six got messed up.
Well, I think he really believes that Carter Nelson is better than Dylan Raiola.
Vegas got to him.
He's got the Vegas brain.
See, that's a good excuse, though.
I said, Jake, you're
I don't even know what day it is.
I think it was his first time in Vegas too. And I was texting him all these things that I've come to learn.
How many rounds of golf did he get in?
I don't think any.
Whoa.
I don't think any. I would imagine that's a very
are you listening?
Popular deal right now.
Listening?
No, I'm sure he could have played frisbee golf if he wanted to.
Some frolf. I wonder what the frolf scene's like in Vegas.
Oh, ask Nick Grimm.
Apparently very active.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, ask Nick Grimm. He'll never stop talking about it.
So there's a lively frolfing community in Las Vegas?
You bet.
Wow. I would not have had that on the bingo
There's a course
card.
right by the airport.
by McCarran? Wow.
Yeah. He says I can watch planes land while I throw the beanie or whatever the hell they call it.
You would think during the Super Bowl they'd probably have like a long drive contest too in frolf.
Maybe
it's not just frolf and 18.
Maybe
It's,
you can bet on it.
Yeah, you're doing some drive contests and whatnot. What would a frolfing chipping game be like? I feel like everybody's talking about driving, but don't you have to have a good chipping game?
Oh yeah, you got to have a short game.
Yeah, the short game.
Well, that's what separates the champions from the
putt for dough.
Yeah,
they do have putters in disc golf.
Driving for show, putting for dough.
I think they're just like bigger discs, heavier discs, or something like that. Yeah, they have putters.
It is a very fascinating world. So Jenny and I were at Keg Creek one Sunday, just one random Sunday in the fall, and it was nice enough. So we went out on the patio, and there was nobody out there. And you've been to Keg Creek, right, out in Glenwood?
No, sorry,
it is Glenwood. Okay. Anyway,
no, I haven't. I'd love to go.
It's good. It's good. Good place.
Glenwood, Ashwood. I love those places.
It just kind of the patio.
Glenwood, Ashland, Greenwood,
the same.
Yeah, Glenwood, Iowa.
One's in Nebraska, one's in Iowa.
Yeah.
But the patio kind of overlooks just like a big old field that goes quite a way. All of a sudden, we just started seeing some random people showing up with their frisbee golf disc.
Their frizzes?
Yeah. I'm like, okay. And then more started showing up. And before we knew it, like there was a guy that was making announcements. What?
On the first tee, hailing from Omaha.
Like, what are we stumbling on here? And then we're thinking, initially like, okay, we need to go back inside. But then we're like, no, we're curious. So we found ourselves witnessing a long drive frolf contest at Keg Creek. And it was,
I bet it was electric, honestly.
In all walks of life, different types of people. It was, it was good. And there was guys that had their ladies that were extremely supportive. There might have been some frolf groupies. I don't know, but there was it was an interesting following. Yeah.
Maybe that's why Nick's in the game.
Yeah, one girl was like holding her man. I don't know if she was her husband or what, but she was like, she brought in the case that had like his multiple discs. God. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Stop me before I ever get into anything that much.
We just sat back and watched
it's the same thing with
the throws were pretty impressive. The drives were pretty impressive.
It's the same thing with like slow pitch softball now, man. Yeah. Like you got to have the whole. If you don't have a $600 bat, you ain't playing real slow pitch softball.
I'm glad you said that.
I'm trying to stay clear of that level of slow pitch softball as long as I possibly can.
It was a world that when I came back to Omaha and I was still single. Played in the men's league and I played in the co-ed league.
But just don't go too deep into the hole.
No, I really didn't. Yeah. In fact, I think the biggest purchase I made was, I think, on Amazon, because a guy in our men's league had this really cool bat, and I hit a couple bombs with it. I'm like, well, it's got to be the bat.
I got to get one of these.
So I did get one, but our entire co-ed team like really liked the bat, so everyone chipped in. It wasn't like, oh, I made like, and I think it was like $140.
Hey.
And everybody used it. I still have it in case anybody wants to make me an offer, because I don't play. But yeah,
investment
in the men's league, and starting to see the guys with the backpacks and two bats
and the wild neon jerseys.
Yeah, neon jerseys that have like this really strange font.
Yeah.
Then you've got pinstripe pants, but not your typical pinstripe baseball pants, but usually are some neons, some black with red pinstripes, red with black pinstripes.
I play in like basically a beer league on like Thursday nights, and we just all wear gray shirts, and then we call it good. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, how dare you? And then you probably,
I don't try
if
at
you
all.
roll up playing the team that's all decked out, they probably look at you like, this will be easy.
But then that's when you got to get up for those games, because you got to beat those guys.
Oh yeah,
you got to put them in your play.
This was when I realized this is a world I don't understand. We showed up once. This was really early when I was playing slow pitch softball, and so I still had like baseball in the brain.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking of this as like a fun social event. I'm going to drink beer with my friends, and that's going to be it. We pulled up and we were playing a team that were dressed up in, they basically had Miami Hurricane looking colors. And they were
embarrassing.
They were sponsored by a construction company.
Sure.
And they were taking soft toss into the fence with softballs. I'm like, are you serious?
Did they take in and out before the game?
I think they would have, if there was time, if time allowed them to, I think they would like to get a quick 8-minute in and out, but they did not. But they were taking soft toss into the fence. And I'm like, either we're doing it wrong or these guys are nerds. No, I'm sorry. I have no problem calling it. I'm like, come on, man.
No, you got it. You nailed it.
You're doing soft toss with softballs into the fence before your game.
You got it.
They had a left-handed shortstop too. That's all you need to know.
Get your hacks in.
It was just it was to the point that you wanted to like stick around when you played like the following week and they were playing after you. You just wanted to stick around and watch them play because you're like, I'm really trying to better understand these people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's a good worldly view on things, I suppose.
Yeah, I've gotten out of that world. It was fun.
Okay.
I'm not trying to say I'm being judgmental. It's just
no, we are.
But yeah,
it's
just I didn't understand it.
No, it's hard to understand.
At first I thought, well, maybe we need to spend some more time. Like when I popped one up into shallow center field, I'm like, well, maybe I need to spend some more time getting my hacks in.
That's what they're trying to do. Big softball got to them, and they were like, you know what? If you guys are just raging lunatics all the time, people will want to beat you so much that they'll try really hard, and then they'll start investing in big softball, and it's like a pyramid scheme. Honestly,
it's a big plan from East Bay. Just to sell merch.
It's like every time you say big sock, you think of like big pharma.
that's what I'm going for. Big softball. They want you. We want you.
This is Easton's way of getting. Oh, that's just too good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where do you? You got any good prop bets for us for the Super Bowl?
So we did have Lee Sterling on, and his daughter, who sang the national anthem many of big venues,
Orange Bowls, right?
Yeah, and she did a Bears game, I think, this last year.
The Bears.
She is going with the under, and she's predicted the.
So we got Reba, right?
Yeah, Reba. Yeah. So apparently, I put Reba 1 foot into the grave. Because
you
said,
killed Reba?
Yeah, I said this is going to be like her last real big audience.
No,
I didn't say she's dying. I just felt like, okay, I'm sure she's going to do concerts, but look, it's the Super Bowl. You get like worldwide viewership on top of the people that are going to be there.
Reba's got plenty of tread left on the
But you tell me when Reba is going to have, even for 90 seconds, going to have a stage with that many eyeballs on it.
How about on the reruns of the show Reba every night?
Does it draw like?
I believe she's on The Voice.
Oh, okay.
Now, Reba's very relevant, Nick. How dare you?
I said this will be the pinnacle and like kind of like her final national anthem on a stage that.
It's going to be the most watched Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
You only get so many chances, I guess.
So I just again,
she's 68 for the record.
Yep, she's still got plenty of life left.
Pull question up: does Reba have plenty left?
So I said, as a casual observer, I felt like she would really try to lean into it. That would lead me to think the over. But then Lee Sterling's daughter, who put 5.5 hours of research into her previous national anthem, says, I think it was like 85% of the time she gets the under.
I don't even know what the number is this year. Is it like
90.5?
Okay, so
I'm still
so
wow, that feels short.
It does. I'm still sticking
but
with
there's a graphic in our office by the bathroom that says like the average of all 57 Super Bowls is like 1 minute 34 seconds or something like that.
That's pretty much right on it.
Yeah. I'm going over on that.
Who sang it last year? Because I feel like the number was like 150 last year.
Oh, he was awesome.
Stapleton?
Yes.
It was Stapleton. Yeah. So the number was high last year, and I think he went under. I think he went under.
Yeah,
was the deal.
Got that one. I do like the.
There's some really good stuff.
I like the Deebo Samuel over 16.5 rushing yards.
Nick was having a really difficult time because he's making his predictions. Because if we're not, he has to shave his beloved mustache off.
Yeah, his facial hair is on the line.
Yeah, so he's really looking into this. Yeah. And one of the props, you'll hear this afternoon. One of the props that John laid out for him was the number of the player to score the final touchdown of the game over under 19.5.
Mm-hmm.
And their jersey.
Nick had a very difficult time understanding it at first. I was like, okay, so you got to think of all the players who could potentially score touchdowns.
Like if it's Patrick Mahomes at 15, that would be under.
Right? So you just missed the cutoff for Deebo.
Under.
Right. There's a lot of players under, but there's some good quality over. Kittle,
87
Kelsey.
Would be over.
Yes. Yeah. You got Kyle Juszczyk if you got him scoring the final touchdown.
By the way, his did you see his anytime touchdown odds on FanDuel? It's like it's like plus 900. That's not a bad one for value. Because they get inside like the 5, like on one of those drives. You could see Juszczyk getting a little element of surprise. Yeah. Especially if Kyle Shanahan's put money on Juszczyk. I mean, come on.
Kyle Juszczyk plus 900
cashing in on that
to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind that.
I think I've got him in a parlay of anytime touchdown scorers.
I think that's a good one as well.
Yeah, we got some that we're gonna lay out a little bit later. They can get wacky at times, but our friends at FanDuel have some good stuff for you.
Are you guys doing anything? I know we're all for the most part independent watchers of the game, but anything good on the menu?
I haven't even really thought about it yet. Josh was kind of
I just said before
remarking
the show started,
this morning. Yeah,
I really got to sit down and focus. This afternoon.
Just avoid getting that menu completed on Sunday as far as getting the groceries.
Right.
Well, but the problem is like
today would be the day if you can.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be. I'm gonna get something from somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so,
which you would have to order like today.
Yeah, I'm because
Verse said get the Paisan orders in now.
Okay.
If you're going to carry,
maybe I'll do that. That's actually kind of a good idea because I'll be coming back from Lincoln and I'll just probably pick up the food on my way home.
Get yourself a pie.
Get myself a pizza pie. Yeah.
Get a pie.
What do you think, Caitlin Clark, 39?
Nope.
No.
Nope. She'll do it in Iowa.
Okay. Yeah, that's the most likely thing.
Have you been given any further guidance on if it were to happen, what will happen?
I have not received any further information.
So that's gonna be a day of thing. You better get there early then, so they can go over it,
or tomorrow, I suppose. But yeah, I guess with so many points left out there for her to score, we're probably thinking about it a little bit less now.
Yeah,
if she needed like 22. It would have been like, oh yeah, okay, we got it. We're gonna have to figure this out.
If she's at 30, like going into the fourth quarter, and the game, like Iowa's got the game in the bag, Lisa Bluter's sitting there, isn't she? At least like
that's what I said.
Yeah.
So here's what I think is going to happen.
Bluter even said yesterday, like she made reference to like the fans in Iowa deserve to see it there. So the fact that it's being actively discussed,
I actually think
the
game is going to be close, and
that's not good. Then she could break it there.
Yeah.
Because the longer she's in the game, and the only other time 39 was put up at Pinnacle Bank was by Caitlin Clark. Freshman year, was it?
3 years ago. Yeah. February of almost. Well, it would be to the
According
day.
to Cheryl Swoops, that was 7 years ago. She's been in the league. She's been playing college basketball for 8 years.
It would be to the day 3 years from when she set her own Pinnacle Bank Arena scoring record.
What if she like bookended her career? 39 first time at Pinnacle Bank Arena, 39 last time at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
What I don't want to happen is that she does it in a situation like you're explaining, where it's the fourth quarter and the game is tight, and you don't have time to sort of recognize it. So the odds are that it won't be. Now that it won't be.
That's what I'm thinking.
But they were just feeding Stolke last night. They were like, "Here you go, here you go, here you go." Here you go.
Here you go. Yeah.
Here you go.
How was Providence Day, by the way?
It was awesome.
Was it good? Great.
We didn't do it as much after the crossover. I feel like we exhausted a lot of it.
I was getting a lot of tweets following our conversation with a lot of people just dropping random Dumb and Dumber stuff. And so it was great.
Here you go.
Here you go. Thanks, Barney. Here you go.
Happy to keep that memory alive.
It was good.
Charles on the YouTube says Reba is a dynamo.
Definitely.
Okay, that's fine. Is she a dynamo? That meaning she'll go over?
What's a dynamo?
That means she's a rock star. I don't know.
I love when people call people dynamos.
A dynamo is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean,
if someone ever refers to you as a dynamo, don't get mad. That's cool.
Let's go to the Merriam-Webster here.
Hey, Kevin Harlan told me he liked my radio voice, by the way.
I heard that. That was awesome. You got to cut that out.
I know. I told Jimmy, I'm like, I need that. That needs to be a part of the resume.
You got to cut that out for sure. Kevin, was that I just tuned in right when he said that. Was that like the first question?
No, it was like the second question I asked him about. I just want to know about his routine, like in preparation for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. He's like, I like talking to you.
Yeah, he goes, you could ask me any question.
There's a man. He's running across the field. The man is drunk.
Like,
there he goes.
Coming from Kevin Harlan? Hell yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Thank you, Kevin.
We should have made Frank Caliendo do a liner or something like that. What are we doing, Josh?
Well, you're going to get him on again.
Yeah, according to Frank Caliendo, we will have several other chances.
Several?
Yes.
That's great.
What do you mean by that?
He's going to a Creighton game?
Yeah.
Wait, so is he here in 2 weeks?
He's the
3.
I guess it'd be 3, yeah. Well,
he might be cutting it close then to make it here by senior day. Would
that's the game he'll be here.
He'll be here
for
that. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because he has 2 shows that night and then one on the Friday night.
Okay.
So I assume he'll be in here on the Friday.
Yes.
But maybe more times? Is that what you're saying, Josh?
He says he would like to maybe call in the week before.
And then show up in
what
person.
If we had a recurring?
Just a little reminder.
Why don't you guys just make him a week?
Why don't we just have Frank Caliendo on every week?
I feel like you're trending there, especially as you guys build a nice rapport. He's like,
he was naming
dudes.
Creighton players. Like that's not fake.
See? He knows.
He did some research before he went on the air. Like, okay, who plays for this stupid team?
He's a sports fan. Like he's a sports fan.
And I think he likes you guys.
He was clearly watching the Providence game a couple nights ago. It's like, did they just lose in overtime? Like, yes.
So we had the most random, like, reoccurring guests from a comedic standpoint when I used to do radio with Chris Schmidt. And we had on Adam Carolla once. Again, he was doing a comedy thing, and he had a good time that he would. It wasn't once a week, but it was like either every other week or we'd have him on once a month for like a good solid year. We would just have Adam Carolla on.
That's awesome.
And he was funny. It was just
did Schmitty have Mike Leach on like every week?
Yes. Schmitty would have Leach on too. I'm like during the season. I'm like, how the hell? Like
apparently you just called Mike Leach and he's like, yeah, hello.
Like people in their own media aren't getting access to him yet. We are. Like, this is great. You don't even have to go through an SID. You just go right to Mike Leach.
Sometimes you just you end up with a brand new friend.
I know.
That's Josh Odson.
It was really cool. So yeah, I think Odson has broken down. Well, I don't even know how big of a wall it is for Frank Caliendo, but I think you've broken that wall to where he's like, yeah.
Well, they're in a texting relationship.
Yeah.
We got text chain.
Is he mad at you because you have green text?
He did not say.
Interesting.
I wonder if he ever randomly texts you like in the middle of a Creighton game, he's like, "Hey Josh, are you watching this?" Like then like, man,
Tree Man really put it up.
How about that Greg McDermott? He constantly getting out coached.
No, never, Frank. Never.
See,
you don't know ball.
That's how you've got more than a guest. You've got a friend. I like that.
Well, at this point, he's family.
Yeah, right. That's great.
Yeah,
that's a good.
What's your
get.
address? I'll mail you a Christmas card, Frank.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
nice. That is a good get.
Get my kid recording and say, "Hi, Uncle Frank."
That's awesome.
You already made him record a liner for the show.
I did.
Did he?
Yeah, it's Josh's kid.
Oh, Josh's kid. I'm like, I thought you just said Kelly. You guys whiffed on the Kelly.
He made him say, "Stop talking, Connor. Let's take a break."
I love when we get the kids involved in the show.
Yeah, you got to do it.
And then I had him back to do another one now that he's older and his voice sounds a little different.
Yeah.
And he just sang the Universal Studios theme song.
Oh, so is this for movie reviews?
Yeah. Like I didn't give him a script this time. I just let him, hey, say something into the microphone.
Do what you want to do.
Why haven't we used this?
I don't know how.
I feel like you need
it's our new open.
If you get like some movie reviews going, or if you want to like talk about a movie before you do that, that should be the soundbite.
Yeah, there you
Absolutely.
go. That's the open for Producer Josh's film school, which I got kicked off.
How long were you in the film school?
Long time.
Oh, okay.
Several movies. Watched several movies.
Some might say he flunked out.
And then I was axed.
So what?
Minions.
That's adorable, man.
Isn't there? I heard there is another. I heard there's another Minions or
Minions.
Is there another Despicable Me movie coming out soon?
Yeah, the fourth one.
Insane.
Yep.
They've been able to capitalize so well off of the little tiny
there's
yellow things.
A second Moana in the works.
That's right.
Hell yeah, Moana was awesome.
It was.
Moana rules.
Is it bad for me to say one of Rock's best?
Not at all.
Thought he did good.
No,
he was very good.
Excellent. Well, Nick.
Yeah, boys.
Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah. Hey, bring it on Sunday, man.
We're bringing it.
You are going to have,
that's for sure,
a very, very big audience.
Yeah.
It'll be fun, though. It was always fun.
I guess I'll be on TV a lot. Should I wear a suit again? Is this a third suit for me?
I don't know. Don't overdo it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Be you.
I don't want to be that guy.
Don't dress up for the visitor.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
All right.
Yeah, no, be you.
All right, I'll go Big Ten quarter zip.
Big Ten quarter
I
zip.
love the Big Ten.
Whatever Nebraska plays their best, and you do that.
Okay.
That's what you're there to promote,
I guess I haven't
right?
kept track. Yeah.
Good red cowboy hat.
And see, well, John Cook probably still has this.
See, there are some people out there who's like, I got to make a scene of myself. I'm the PA
I turn
guy.
that game on and I see Connor wearing a red cowboy hat.
Big red cowboy hat.
Oh, God.
Just trying to get on Fox's TikTok.
Oh, and the Caitlin Clark TikTok cam.
That would be amazing.
Every once in a while, they run right by me and I like put up my foot or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like, check out my boots.
Like, get a load of this guy over here.
These are my bleep kickers.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity.
I haven't reached the stage of wacky PA guy yet. I play it pretty close to the vest.
That'd be a fun time to do it, though.
All right, Nick, have a good weekend.
All right, see you, boys.
That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Friday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
An attorney over in Iowa named Van Plum is now requesting the state of Iowa. Okay, I shouldn't. See, here's a serious story, and you guys are hung up on Van Plum.
That's a character in the board game Clue. Van Plum did it in the office with a club stick.
What's a club stick?
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A little bit cooler as we close out the week Friday. Expect more sunshine in the morning, then more clouds in the afternoon with a northwest breeze, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Most will stay dry, though. Can't rule out a stray shower in the evening, mainly south of the metro. Highs in the mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Email us on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
If you're looking for a safe and reliable vehicle to get you through all types of winter weather and more, Baxter Subaru has you covered. Symmetrical all-wheel drive comes standard on nearly all Subaru models and provides you better traction, improved stability, and maximized performance on wet and snowy roads. Subaru's all-wheel drive also enhances off-road capabilities. Get incredible deals and great lease offers today on all our new Subaru models. Or shop anytime at BaxterSubaruOmaha.com.
Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill serves pizza with an unforgettable pizza sauce, fresh ingredients in unique combinations of bold flavors. Try customer favorites like the 3 Oinks and a Moo, the Mountain Man, or the Upset Grizzly Bear. There are daily specials and menu items like tacos, salads, wings, and burgers. Stop in and check out Timber Creek's family-friendly dining environment while enjoying a popular adult beverage. Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill at 178th and Harrison and at timbercreekpizzaomaha.com.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Put your coffee department in good hands with Host Coffee Service, providing direct delivery and loaned coffee equipment with service programs. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jays Shoot Around and Overtime shows, the Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jays Shoot Around and Overtime shows are also presented by Union Bank and Trust. Hear the breakdown and coverage about your top-ranked Creighton men's basketball team before and after each game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, the 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
John and Josh here for the FanDuel Sportsbook Super Bowl 58. We've got your action on FanDuel with a no-sweat same-game parlay. When you bet on Super Bowl 58 on FanDuel, one game can mean a lot of wins on America's #1 sportsbook. You got the money line bet, you got the team side, you got the totals, and all of the prop bets right now. I am picking the Chiefs. Take Patrick Mahomes over 1.5 touchdowns thrown, throw in another one, and you can win big. Go to FanDuel.com/1620. Get signed up.
John, we disagree on a lot of things, and we're disagreeing on Super Bowl 58. I like the 49ers to get the victory, so maybe combine them with something else that you like. Maybe George Kittle to score an anytime touchdown. Again, FanDuel.com/1620. Sign up today. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Hi, this is Stacey McGilligan, Director of Sales for NRG Media Omaha. NRG Media is looking for an accomplished bilingual new business development salesperson who wants to take their success and skills to the next level. Is this you? Our multimedia account executives work with local businesses to create marketing plans to help them get more customers. On air, digital, on-site, audio, video, it's all part of what you could sell. A sales career with NRG Media lets you make a real difference in our community. Get more info and apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Otson. Let's get ready to rumble.
Licensing of the phrase "let's get ready to rumble" just over the last 7+ years internationally is grossed approximately close to $400 million in retail sales.
Really?
You guys look like, what do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
Connor Happer and Josh Hodson with you. Sorry, Josh, I'm clicking all over the place. I'll let you handle it. Welcome to Super Bowl Friday.
This is it.
Later on
Super
in the
Bowl
show,
of Super Bowls.
we will make our picks. I have some props with some research, not Nick Grimm research, but just research.
I have some bets placed based on minimal research.
Perfect. That's the way to do it for the Super Bowl. But we were talking about it with AB earlier in the week. You just kind of conjure up a way that you think the game is going to go.
Exactly.
And then you bet a bunch of possibilities, and then you could have some wiggle room to help you on the backside too. And then of course, FanDuel, our friends at FanDuel have, this is not an ad read, they have a section in there where it's like, here are some bets that odds are plus 5,000 or more.
Yeah.
You got to dabble in there. It's the Super Bowl.
I scrolled through.
You got to spend a couple bones on some plus 5,000s. Will this finally be the year that a safety happens in this, or and we go to overtime in the Super Bowl?
What if the first offensive play is a safety? That's one of the bets in that category, I believe.
Did you throw that one in, Josh?
I did not.
Oh man, come on!
I did look.
You want to throw away a buck?
I'm like, a buck gets me $1,000.
That's a pretty good. It's like John Cougar Mellencamp winning an Oscar. Let's see, where is that plus 5,000 category? There's just so many bets on here that it's very difficult to.
Yeah, you got to carve out some time. This isn't. Let me just pop over there and.
Yeah, let's just start hitting some things. No, yeah, you gotta. It'll be a long time sitting in the car in a parking lot of a Casey's.
Get a sandwich or a big gulp
this afternoon. So I'll lay out some that I've actually thought about a little bit later on in the show. We'll talk about the hoops coming up this weekend. Nebraska and Creighton. Creighton still out on the road at Xavier. Nebraska at home, which is where they are good at basketball, against Michigan, who is maybe good at basketball.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so either. 2 games against Michigan in Nebraska's final stretch here of the regular season.
That's favorable.
We'll preview Caitlin Clark Fest in Lincoln on Sunday. She'll need 39 points at Pinnacle Bank Arena to break the scoring record. I have some thoughts and some theories on that. And Caitlin Clark TikTok cam will be in effect. So, if you just watch sports on TikTok,
like we all do,
then Caitlin Clark will be right there. You'll just be able to, there she goes. There she goes. Just following people around the entire game.
Forgive my ignorance on this. There's a live feature to TikTok?
Yes.
Okay.
TikTok live.
Did not know.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you can go live on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. So
have you ever
makes sense.
Have you ever watched an Instagram live or a TikTok live or a Twitter?
I've watched
live?
a couple Instagram lives and they're usually terrible.
They're so bad.
It's
so
just,
what people
there's
do.
no plan. They just
if they have like 1 million followers, or even if they have a few thousand or something like that, they're like, I'm big enough. You know what? I'm gonna go live and see how many people want to hang out with me for a little while.
And that makes sense.
And that's basically what we do every single day on this show. But they're like, I'm gonna flip this camera on and
I'm just gonna start saying
I don't
stuff.
know. Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna look at the camera for a little while. Somebody's gonna say something. I'm gonna say hi to all of them. Hi, J. Charles 27. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the rose.
Oh, Kenny Clark's in the chat. Shout out to Kenny.
Shout out to Kenny. So yeah, those are bad. Those are really bad. They will have a plan on the Caitlin Clark TikTok cam.
Good. That's good
on Sunday. We'll get into the beginning of the Huskers softball season yesterday. Not funny. The beginning of the Huskers softball season yesterday. Funny if you have a dark sense of humor, I suppose, with Jordy Ball leaving the game in the 3rd inning and then Nebraska getting run ruled by Washington in their season opening game in Puerto Vallarta. Let me just say this out front. So I saw some people saying that she left the game with an ankle injury. I'm not so sure about that. I've seen the video. It's out there. If you really try, you could find it. I don't think it was an ankle injury.
Feels like a real Aaron Rodgers situation.
I don't like it. I did not like it. I'm not a doctor, but I did not like it.
You're not a doctor.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Important.
I'm just a bad sports gambler and a person who talks about the net rankings.
Ignorantly.
So we could dive into that. Almost had a really bad transition there. We could jump back into Triggered Bob's question from yesterday about Brock Purdy.
The chat seemed
they loved it.
They were feasting on that.
They loved it.
We'll jump red meat.
We'll jump back into Nudgegate with Kirk Herbstreit, who clarified some of his comments on Paul Feinbaum's show yesterday. And this will be the first time ever on sports radio that the comeback player of the year will be a topic.
Okay.
No, it wasn't the guy who died on the field and came back to play in NFL games less than 1 year later. It was the guy who was just old and played quarterback.
Who started the year on his couch, though.
Couch? Death.
I understand. Joe Flacco balled out this year. He took the Browns to the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
But some might say DeMar Hamlin came the furthest back. He did get the most first place votes.
So weird. Did you watch any of the NFL honors last night?
1 second.
I saw all of Keegan-Michael Key's monologue.
I'll bet it was riveting.
It was good.
Oh, okay.
He is really good.
He's funny. I like him.
He's really funny.
I just think that's okay, you're not getting the good joke writers.
Definitely not.
For that ceremony.
And there was a like, it was awfully clean. You know, he didn't go there on a lot of things. There wasn't a lot of, there wasn't a lot of that. It was just like funny sports jokes. And then they panned to people in the audience. There was a Jerry Jones's old joke.
That's what we make fun of him for.
Yes.
Being old.
That's definitely it. That's the only thing. One of the jokes was you had to mix in Taylor Swift.
Of course.
One of the jokes was Taylor Swift is in Tokyo right now, and the only people that are further away from the Super Bowl are the Panthers.
All right.
I thought that was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I thought that was pretty good. Panthers catching strays. The NFL Honors Award.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson is your most valuable player.
He's got 2 of those now.
Did you see Lamar and Joe Flacco hug each other like they were old best friends again?
Nope.
You didn't see anything last night then. What were you doing? Were you watching Caitlin Clark dish out assists to Hannah Stolke?
I watched an odd amount of Lightning Islanders after our conversation.
Oh, you were interested in the arena at Long Island?
And they were just scoring goals. There was 8 goals in the first half of the game. I understand there's 3 periods in a hockey game, but the first period and a half, there were 8 goals. And so I was like, okay, I can't turn this off. They keep scoring. It's fun. At the UBS Arena, which is, of course, where the Islanders play.
In Nassau County on Long
Everybody
Island.
knows that.
Yes, of course. Okay, that's weird. But I'm glad you took after your own advice on what to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. And that was it. No Jeopardy last night?
No, the wife came home late. We watched Jeopardy together.
Of course.
It's a couple's activity.
I agree. Same way for sure. Okay, so we're set up and ready to go. On a Friday before the Super Bowl. Bryan Munson will join here in just a couple minutes. We'll talk some recruiting with him as Nebraska finally wrapped up their class. There's some more stuff to get into with that, including 2025 quarterback recruiting. That's what we're on to next. Their top target is not coming to Nebraska. He's going to Iowa State. So what is next for Nebraska football and quarterback this year? We'll talk to Munson about that in a couple minutes. Bryan Christopherson also in the 11 o'clock hour. Steve Sipple in the noon hour. And Kate Rooney of KRON in the Bay Area is in Vegas. She's been in Vegas for too long once again. And we will get her thoughts on Vegas, the Super Bowl, and all of those things from the 49ers side of things. And if Brock Purdy is good. Or is he too good? According to Sub.
I'm sure she has a take.
That's the lineup. Powered by the Roofery's John Higgins Weather Guard. Love it if you got in touch with the show. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You could also text that number. Same number, 402-951-1620. Twitter at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed, where there are already a couple scintillating poll questions up. You can email Connor or Josh at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers this morning. Hi, hello. Good morning for everybody. Josh is going with Ken Jennings, Stan. I'm going with Scott Frost for Ohio State OC today. We're putting it out into the ether. We're making it happen, Josh.
Scare them. Scare those Buckeye fans. They're on edge already.
What was your favorite Bill O'Brien, Ohio State offensive coordinator moment?
Should we do a top 5 today?
Yeah, we could set that up for sure. What's it been? Less than a month? He's off to Boston College to be their head coach. So Ohio State has an opening. I heard Brian Day likes to, little power spread action. He's got some good quarterbacks. Why not Scott Frost? I'm just putting it out there.
Why not?
You could also watch us along at 1620thezone.com as well. Okay, we're off and running on a Friday. We'll be back. Munson will join in here in just a little bit. Back for more on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers, offers exterior solutions that help you protect your number one investment. Whether it's roofing and siding or windows and doors, they're committed to excellence, quality, and outstanding customer service in every step of the process. When it's time to protect the exterior of your home, your choice is simple. Turn to who the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Check them out online and schedule a free estimate today. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Betting on your favorite sporting events just got a whole lot easier. Warhorse Sportsbook is now open in Omaha. Save yourself the drive across the river and put your money where your mouth is at Horseman's Park, 6303 Q Street. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know what Mentality can help you with? Low energy, motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, fatigue, tired all the time, feeling anxious, moody, irritability, impatience, anxiety, and depression. Mentality can help you with their board-certified physicians and their testosterone treatments that can take care of you and get you back in the game. You can regain normal function and restore your ability to perform normally at all levels just by Mentality. Set up an appointment today. Go to lowtusa.com. Get back in the game. Don't sit on the sidelines and let Mentality lead the way.
You can find pizza anywhere. But when you want pizza pie piled high with more toppings, that's when you come to my place, Godfather's Pizza. For a limited time, get your hands on 2 of my large one-topping pizzas. Pick pepperoni, beef, black olives. You choose. All this food for only $30. Feed your whole mob without breaking the bank. Hey, it's an offer you can't refuse. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Omaha Maverick Hockey travels to Kalamazoo tonight to take on Western Michigan. You can listen on News Talk 1290 Coil. Puck drops at 6 p.m. It's UNO at Western Michigan tonight on your home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
The NFL action keeps getting better, and DraftKings, the leader in fantasy sports, just dropped a brand new app, Pick Six. Pick Six is the newest way for you to get in on the fantasy football action with DraftKings. New customers can make their first NFL picks and get up to $100 back in Pick Six credits if those picks lose. Getting started is simple. Download the DraftKings Pick Six app and sign up using code 1620. Just pick between 2 and 6 NFL players and choose if they're going to have more or less of a stat. For example, will a player have more or less than 100 rushing yards, or will a player have more than 1 touchdown? Track your lineup and compete against others for a shot at huge cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Pick Six app now and sign up with code 1620. New customers can get up to $100 back in Pick Six credits if your first football pick set loses. That's code 1620. Only on DraftKings Pick Six. The crown is yours. One offer per new customer. First qualifying pick set winnings less entry fees must generate negative number. Max reward up to $100 equal to amount of negative number number. Issued in non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits valid for Pick 6 use only. Expire after 1 year. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Valid only in states where DraftKings Pick 6 operates. For up-to-date list of states, please visit dkng.co/pick6states. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, quickly here before we get to Munson, Josh, you put this on here this morning. Thank you for looking up the NIT bracketology page. I appreciate that greatly.
Thank you. I'm there every morning.
You're a real sicko.
It's finally paid off.
You're really diving into it. I like it.
I know ball.
So pre-Valentine's Day NIT bracketology from nitbracketology.com. What am I about to say?
For NIT bracketology.
What am I about to say here?
Something triggering.
Something triggering. They have Nebraska as a 1 seed in the NIT, according to nitbracketology.com.
Now, you know a little bit more about basketball than me. I'll admit that to you.
I know ball.
Can you make the NCAA tournament and the NIT in the same season?
I don't believe there is precedent for that.
They don't let you play both?
Don't believe there's precedent for that.
Okay. Just wanted to check.
So there's just, you kind of go to one or the other. And one of them is looked upon as the better tournament.
Oh.
The one where there are actual stakes and things of that nature. Also, I notice here that there are a lot of Big East teams that are in this.
If you go to Joe Lenardi's bracketology, and he's got there's 4 bubble categories now.
Is there? So
it's littered with Big East teams.
So there's last
4 buys,
last 4 non-buy, or last 4 buys, last 4 in, first 4 out,
next
4 out,
littered with Big East teams.
I gotta check.
There's 6. Last time I remember checking, there's 6 Big East teams in that group of what it would.
Okay, so this is on the bubble. 16 teams. We have Butler, we have Seton Hall, we have St. John's, we have Villanova, we have Providence. That's funny. Nebraska's still a 9 seed, by the way, according to your boy Lunardi. Xavier not in the tournament right now. Xavier might be better than every single one of those teams I just mentioned, and they might have enough wins to actually make the NCAA tournament. Lunardi has 5 Big East teams. Is this mentioned or is this in the field? I imagine this is in the field. And then also 6 Big Ten teams. Some people seem to think that the Big Ten is like a 2-bid league for some reason. We got to stop comparing this to 2018. It's not the same.
But it happened that one time.
It's a very different thing.
First team out, St. John's. Last team in, Seton Hall.
And the NIT bracketology, which Josh is obsessed with. Providence is in that tournament. Villanova is in that tournament. Jack Mitchell's favorite K-State team is in that tournament. Nebraska, Minnesota's in that tournament.
Now
we're looking ahead here. There's big games this weekend, Josh. Big games.
If you want to be positive about this, NIT games are played at home sites. So
that's true.
Nebraska would waltz to the Final Four.
If they were a 1 seed, they would get all of those games at home, barring any sort of scheduling faux pas.
And a rematch with K-State.
Now, I remember last year there was some sort of scheduling. What's going to happen here, because there's some events going on at Pinnacle Bank Arena during the month of March, because they don't necessarily
plan
for going to the NIT or plan for hosting part of the NCAA tournament if you are on the women's side. And so there was some contingency plans that almost ended up coming to fruition last year. If Nebraska, the women would have won one more game, where they would have had to play at the Devaney Center. That didn't happen.
Good.
So, hey, there is your consolation prize. If Nebraska misses the NCAA tournament, they go to the NIT, and they go deep into the NIT, and potentially there's a scheduling deal that leads them to back home to the Devaney Center. That would be kind of fun. That'd be a nice consolation prize for missing the NCAA tournament.
I'm sure everyone would take it in stride.
Oh, of course, they'd love it. It's almost better than making the NCAA tournament in a lot of ways.
Hang the banner.
Doc on the text line.
What's up, Doc?
Nebraska making it to the Final Four in the NIT is way better than Nebraska losing in the first. Don't do this. Don't do this, Doc. We do this every year. Everybody's like, what's better? Would you rather go deep into the NIT and have momentum going into next year? Would you rather get bounced in the first round, lose by 55 points?
Bounce me.
Bounce me. Bounce me out. I'll go to Dayton. Get me in the dance. 68. That's all I care about. Get me in the dance. I care about the stupid NIT. Who cares?
Not half the teams involved in the NIT.
Yeah. Bad take. Bad take, Doc. We got that first one out of the way early. February 9th is the first date I heard that this year. Seems kind of early, if we're being honest. All right, we will come back. Bryan Munson will join. We will put the final bow on the 2024 recruiting class, or will we? And we'll discuss some 2025 quarterback recruiting, some other things with Munson as well. Coming up on 1620 The Zone. Football fans, FanDuel has the perfect way for everyone to get in on the Super Bowl 58 action, and that is with a no-sweat same-game parlay. We were just talking about some of the things that we might be cooking up for the weekend. When you bet on Super Bowl 58 on FanDuel, one game, which is the big game, can mean a lot of wins. America's #1 sportsbook is all your favorite bets, like the money line, like the spread, all sorts of prop bets. Trust me, they go way, way deep on the FanDuel sportsbook. When you combine all your bets for a chance at a bigger payday, that is the same game parlay. You'll get bonus bets back, even if it doesn't win. No sweat. Start building your own, tailing one of ours, or pick a popular one that is already pre-built for you on America's #1 sportsbook. That is FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/Happer. Sign up now. If you don't already have an account, it's the perfect time for it. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is your home for the big game. Whether it's the NFL or a rivalry on the hardwood, you will find all the action on Oscar's top-of-the-line audio-video system. With 40 TVs and massive dual projectors, the game has never looked better. Pair that with their award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has everything you need. 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
It's a celebration of love at Saul's Jewelry and Loan. Now through Valentine's Day, get 50% off a huge selection of jewelry. Diamond rings, 50% off. Gold chains, 50% off. Bracelets, 50% off. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. It's the celebration of love sale at Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor, the pharmacy, or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Since 1972, family-owned and locally roasted Host Coffee Service has been roasting the finest coffee for businesses and restaurants. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent maracas smell amazing." You could call them scent maracas, but most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Bryan Munson.
Hey, long call. Comfy left Zoom Buster. 63 Bang Z Maui. Alert. Paradise Z Burger Y Wrap on one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show. On 1620 The Zone.
All right, let's talk some Cruton with HuskerOnline.com's Bryan Munson. Joins us now on the 42 Degrees The Source Hotline. Munson, hello. Happy Friday. How are you?
Hey, buddy. Super Bowl weekend, too, man. I got to hear what you're thinking about the game this weekend. Interesting matchup.
Okay, let's just do it. Let's just do it right off the top. I was going to ask about your food setup because you seem like a guy who's got like 6. Do you have 6 grills?
I do have. Dude,
I nailed you. I nailed you. I got it.
Backyard.
No.
I'm literally planning on extending my concrete slab like patio because I have not enough grill space. I've got to have more grill, and I want to buy a pizza oven and on top of things. So
man,
I have a green egg to a Weber propane grill to a Blackstone propane griddle.
Okay, so three grills.
Three.
Yeah, that tracks. I mean, which is awesome, and you're a great guy to have around for a day like Sunday, which is fantastic. Are you having people over? Like, are you getting those grills all fired up?
You know what? Well, so typically the play here would be head over to the little taqueria store, grab fajita meat, and come back and do fajitas. We have been. I'll tell you what, this seems kind of. Oh man, I don't even know if I want to mention this on the air. It's a little sacrilegious. It's a little bit of a faux pas.
Are you going to say boneless wings?
No.
Okay.
No, bone-in wings, but in an air fryer.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no sacrilege.
I tell you what. So we have found a couple. So I'm a big fan of a steak. No free shout outs. Of a steakhouses that's kind of chain. You guys have one in Omaha. There's one down here in Dallas. That has wings, and I love their wings.
Chili's.
There's something about the flavor. Outback. So I found their recipe online, and instead of doing it like in a regular grease pit, kind of frying them, I used the air fryer. They came out wonderful. And I tell you what, we've been kind of playing with it, kind of trying to find our own little thing. We grabbed the wrong hot sauce one week, and I don't think anybody spoke right for like a week or so.
Nice.
But yeah, otherwise, man, I think we're looking forward to doing that. Some fajita meat, and then just chilling out, man. Just kind of hanging out. We're actually gonna do Valentine's Day tonight because I think I can get there and do next week's show with you in studio.
Oh, hello.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So I was going to call and maybe text you over the weekend and maybe start making some plans to where I can get there at 11 o'clock next week.
Doors open, my friend. You're always welcome. So yeah.
I think I know where to find you.
Let me know. As far as the game is concerned, I am following the wisdom that seemingly most people are following, at least in my sphere of influence, which is, I don't really know who's gonna win, so I'm gonna default to Patrick Mahomes, and that's pretty much what I'm going with.
Not bad logic. For 49ers to win, unfortunately, there's two unenviable tasks that that I have seen the Bills fail at time and time again, and that is find a way to keep Kelsey from getting targeted 11 times and catching 10 of them.
Yeah.
And then also, I think the X factor for the game, and this is the part that I think everybody struggles with, I think Isaiah Pacheco is so underrated as a running
Definitely.
back. He just has a way of kind of getting lost behind the offensive line, and then he kind of squirts through. But it's not like he just kind of comes through at 2 miles an hour. He comes through full speed, and by the time the linebackers are sucked up to the defensive lineman, the guy's shooting past them. So he has a way to kind of make some incredible burst yardage that really sets him up for great conversion downs, down yardage, and picking up those yards, to convert anyway on second and third. So I'm kind of with you. I like what the 49ers do. I love watching their offense. I love their weapons, the tight ends, the wide receivers, obviously McCaffrey, and I think Purdy's really good with his feet as well. I don't know. I get caught up with how Detroit manhandled them in the first half of the last game, and I can't get off of it.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. It's certainly been, the Chiefs have been the better team throughout the playoffs, not during the regular season, but they have been throughout the playoffs. So yeah,
they're dialed in, I think.
That's where I'm going. Okay, let's go into some recruiting. Bryan Munson of Husker Online is with us. Okay, so they finally put the finishing touches, I think, on the 2024 class. We finally made it to the end, and they finished it off pretty good. Keona Wilhite in the group, and a couple more preferred walk-on type of guys, and we'll see what happens when the portal opens up again, spring ball time around then. But I mean, it was they really added some guys there, and just, I guess, what are your thoughts on the way it finished off for Nebraska football in 24?
Yeah, I think that there's, huge props, I think, to Matt Rhule and his staff. I think when they finished out in December, they knew what their plan was to get down to 85. And then as kind of the musical chairs started happening with, Saban retiring and Kalen DeBoer going to Alabama and Harbaugh leaving for the NFL, and I think people are going to have to see these things as not just like this year's trend. I think they're going to be trends year over year. So I think schools are going to have to kind of plan accordingly, to where they could have a plan for how things are going to end after the early signing day in December to how to get down to 85. But if there's a couple, 3 guys that come up, that go through a decommitment, release from NIL, or just flat out decommit anyway, or end up going into the portal, they've got to be ready for it. And I think that Rhule and his staff had their eyes on some guys and found like a Keona Wilhite, like you had mentioned. I feel like Nebraska, got a couple guys. They got McGahee and they got Shavers as linebackers, and both those guys are in Lincoln currently, and that's really going to help them out. But Wilhite has this length that I think really is going to stand out and make him different from the other players. He's a 6'5", 230-pound guy who wants to run anchor on his 4x1 team in high school.
That's awesome.
I mean, this is he's an incredibly athletic dude. So I think that's a difference maker to me, and they want to move him between the Jack and the Will, and I think ultimately he could even be a guy that is hand in the dirt, playing more of an edge 7 or 5 even, that could play defensive line. There's a lot of tools there. There's a lot of things to work with. But I think another guy that ended up, the news came out about him on Wednesday was Kamir Prescott.
Yep.
And dude, I'm telling you, that's a guy that I interviewed after the spring game in the Husker Online offices, and I absolutely loved his film. And I was in the halls with, Brandon Baker, Aiden Breland, Nate Frazier, all these dudes from California. And then there was this, kid down the way that I'm talking to that doesn't have the same stars as him, but man, I loved his film. I thought he was a super physical safety. I thought he was a guy that actually looked really good on offense as a wide receiver. I thought he could also do some special teams potentially at the next level. And then the next day or two after he leaves Lincoln, he commits to Wisconsin. And I'm going, great. This is going to be the guy that's going to kick Nebraska's teeth in for the next 3 to 4 years. And we're all going to regret the fact that he visited and then subsequently went to Wisconsin. But Nebraska found a way to get, back in the picture with him after he decommitted from Wisconsin. And I really think that's a pretty big get. I think when you go back and look at all the defensive backs that Nebraska got in the regular class, I think there's probably good reason to kind of land on Prescott and say, I've got my eye on that kid. Like I could see him being a player that we're talking about in the fall is making some news coming out of summertime into fall camp that they're maybe going to try to find a way to get him on the football field. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what happens.
As we move into 25 now, and we had talked about this quite a bit, quarterback recruiting is the first thing that sort of happens, and we sort of set the stage, I guess, for Alex Mansky and his regional travels, I suppose. Ends up at Iowa State, which is a great get for them. Nebraska's had the chance now to sort of regroup and collect. All right, where are we going next? Does it feel like they have any leads on where they might be looking for quarterback 25?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a new offer, a couple new offers this week actually. I have a story that came out this morning actually at 6:00 this morning. So it's been out there on Husker Online for a few hours. But Madden Iamaleava from California, he is picked up an offer from Nebraska last Friday. I'm trying to think because I couldn't catch him during the weekend because he was doing a 7-on-7 tournament. And then on Sunday they lost early. They didn't feel like talking to me. But this is the younger brother of Nico, who was at Tennessee. So this kid's out of Long Beach, California, Warren High School, and he's a good sized dual threat kind of guy. Plays very similarly to what his brother does. Knows Dylan Raiola personally. When Madden picked up the offer, Dylan Raiola reached out to Madden and said congratulations, and he's really looking forward to getting down. He's got the spring game schedule, in his hands, and Nebraska's making sure to try to get him out there sometime here in the coming months. So that's a guy that I think it's going to be tough because, I mean, California guy, he's gone on a recent tear of new offers. I think there's been some unsettling commitments that kind of drives, additional offers to other players. And, but I think Madden is going to be a dude that I think Nebraska at least is going to get a chance to host. And that's always the first battle. And whenever Nebraska gets that opportunity, typically, that's at least where some good things can start happening. But they have made a little run of other offers. And I think people saw that Matt Zollers came out and said, Nebraska's not in my top 4. They offered TJ Lateef, who is out of Orange, California, another 4-star guy. I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday night. And then you had obviously Dylan Duff, who got offered the week before. And he's visited Nebraska before in the past, and he'll get back in the spring. And I really like Duff's film. I mean, there's nothing to, basically throw your nose up at with him. He is a fantastic looking player. Got a little bit of Josh Allen to some Brock Purdy. I mean, he's fun to watch. But there is another name that's on the list that's committed somewhere currently that I think people need to maybe pay attention to because I don't know what the fallout's going to be with him. So Stone Saunders, who was originally the number 1 quarterback target by this staff before Mansky came around and before Saunders started favoring or looking at Kentucky, his assistant coach that had basically promised him that he was not going to go to the NFL has left Kentucky for the NFL. So we don't know what the fallout there potentially could be with Saunders. I really like Saunders. I think people are going to pick on him a little bit because of maybe not being ideally a 6'3", 6'4" guy. But I think he's got all the throws, and he's a pretty good little athlete to boot. So lots of things happening on the quarterback board to pay attention to. Yeah. Probably a nice little article for me to kind of sync up again on in later on in this month.
Well, with all that being said, I wonder how it's approached by the staff, given you got 2 quarterbacks in the 24 class. You assume, if everything works out in that regard in a dream scenario, right? Dylan Raiola is your starting quarterback for the next 3 years, and then Daniel Kalen takes over. Like, that's the dream scenario. It only plays out that way like 10% of the time, probably. But like, that's sort of the thought going into it. They don't like to project ahead. It's kind of a 1 year at a time deal, and they take good football players. But I wonder about sort of how it's approached and the urgency level of it with all of that. And then you combine that with the idea of like, yeah, I mean, if we really get into a bind, there's also the transfer portal thing too. Like 25 quarterback is interesting coming off of what you just got in 24.
And I love what you just said, because I think that there's a scenario that you could say that is the ideal scenario. And then I think that you could assign some percentage, and I think it would be close to 10%, to where you did have Raiola and it did go to Kalen, or it was some sort of a Raiola, Harbord kind of mixed in as kind of another dual threat guy that, and then Kalen comes along 3 years later. The absolute opposite end of that is that they realize that Raiola is a starting quarterback. Harbord changes positions.
Yeah.
And Kalen says, I'm not going to play, at Nebraska for 3 years. I'm out of here.
Great point.
And I hate saying that, because Daniel obviously is from Omaha. And I really, as a high character kid, I wouldn't blame him if that's the conclusion he came to. And we're kind of, again, summarizing and looking too far down the road for us. It's probably a little bit reckless for us to talk about, but
like if we're doing scenarios, I mean, that's certainly in the cards somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a polar opposite thing. And that's why I've been saying for a while, the 2025 quarterback is going to get glossed over because the two guys, and because one of the guys you got last year, but it's incredibly important, because you could have and be into some sort of form of that scenario right there very, very quickly. And you would need a guy that's going to be able to walk right in and be that backup, potentially as soon as next spring.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. It's there. And then we should mention too, there's like 500 different scenarios in between those two as well for how it works out and how long people are here and stuff like that. So
absolutely,
you kind of just have to play it day by day. Munson, we appreciate you coming on, man. Let me know. You're always welcome. Doors open for you. Just let me know if you're coming in next Friday. We'd love to have you. But the rest, enjoy your trip up, and we'll talk to you soon.
I will definitely be in the market, and I will reach out to you either on Thursday or I'll reach out to you on Thursday.
Lovely. Talk to you then.
All right, buddy. See you.
Bryan Munson of HuskerOnline.com. Munson, big grills guy. Not like grills that you put on your teeth, but like grills.
You knew it.
I just did. Josh, I have this thing. I see people. I know people. Of course, I've met Munson before, and he's talked about his, grilling ways. Somebody, by the way, texted in, Cody.
Hi, Cody.
He said, I had the exact same setup as Munson. I have a green egg, a Weber, and a Blackstone. And he's also not wrong about running out of space on the patio. That's my current situation. Like, I have one grill, the kind of do-it-all grill, and I'm trying to talk to the right people, get some things massaged where I can get a little concrete slab down there on the bottom of the deck, and then I'll just fill it up with grills. Sure. More grills. What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? More grills.
More grills.
Are you going to use them all? I don't know, but I like to have them.
Like having them. Like having the option.
No doubt.
They all do different things.
I already have the first step to it, which I think is like if you're going I want to become a grill guy. Deep freeze. I got a deep freeze. I'll put that sucker in the garage.
My dad has a grill, a smoker, and a pizza oven.
The pizza oven too. I've been interested in the past.
I was like, I'll get it. I think he'll use it a little bit. He uses it all the time. Like, I'm really glad I got him that.
Good gift.
Like, yeah.
That makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Nice. Josh, good
and
gift.
And plus,
giver.
selfishly, I've benefited from giving it to him.
You have to.
Hey, let's come over and make some pizzas. Okay.
You have to.
Would love to.
All right. Thank you to Munson, and maybe we'll see him in here live next Friday. We'll take a quick time out. Brian Christopherson is next. We'll jump into a few of the things that Matt Rhule had to say, maybe some comments on Nudgegate. Plenty more with BC coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The suspicious activity also included the Better Showing Sportsbook staff messages from Bohannon and explaining that the messages were Bohannon informing Better that Bama was scratching its starting pitcher before the game before Bohannon alerted LSU. So the guys, look, I have messages from the coach.
Unsportsmanlike conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies for your Friday afternoon. Cooler, but still mild with a high today of 47 degrees in Omaha with northwesterly winds up to 10 miles an hour. Staying partly cloudy tonight and a little bit chilly with a low of 29. Winds remaining light out of the northwest. Partly cloudy again for your Saturday, a high tomorrow of 44 in Omaha. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
You can find pizza anywhere. But when you want pizza pie, piled high with more toppings, that's when you come to my place, Godfather's Pizza. For a limited time, get your hands on 2 of my large one-topping pizzas. Pick pepperoni, beef, black olives, you choose. All this food for only $30. Feed your whole mob without breaking the bank. Hey, it's an offer you can't refuse. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
This is a sale so hot, Standard Heating and Air can only do it once a year. Right now, buy a Carrier air conditioner from Standard Heating and Air and get a free furnace. Now, that's a hot deal.
StandardAC.com, where we do the things we do.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Most folks don't realize this fact. Our country is only 4 missed meals away from chaos, and those meals can vanish fast. In a national emergency, fragile supply chains break down and will wipe grocery store shelves clean in a matter of hours. Before this happens, there's something you should do today. That's stock up on emergency food storage. My Patriot Supply is the company millions of American families trust for their emergency supplies. You should too. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each kit contains delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. My Patriot Supply also sells large solar generators, gravity-powered water filtration systems, off-grid room heaters for when the power goes out, heirloom seeds, and other survival necessities. Order by 3 p.m. and your items ship the same day, fast. Go to mypatriotsupply.com right now. Those who know what's coming prepare before the chaos starts. mypatriotsupply.com.
Hey fans, looking for the best seats without the hidden fees? Then you need to check out Tickets for Less. Whether it's Creighton games, Husker matchups, or big-time concerts and events, they've got you covered, all with no service fees. Now, you ready to score a deal? Use the code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and save on your next event. You prefer to go mobile? Grab the free Tickets for Less app and shop with ease. Every seat holds a story, so find yours and save when you use the promo code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and the Tickets for Less app today.
Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent maracas smell amazing." You could call them scent maracas, but most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
News Talk 1290 Coil is the home of Omaha Maverick women's basketball all season long. Don't miss any of the Maverick action as they try to make their mark on the Summit League this season. Omaha Mavericks women's basketball is on News Talk 1290 Coil.
At Churco, Chef Dave blends the distinctive food of Northern Italy with the melting pot of American cuisine to bring a unique fusion of style and flavors to West Omaha. From fresh pastas handcrafted daily to house-dry aged steaks, Focaccia bread baked daily. Churco is perfect for date night or any night. Churco features crafted, unique cocktails, an extensive Italian and American wine list, and a robust happy hour Tuesday through Sundays. Churco, located at 192nd and Q and CIRCOOmaha.com.
Hey, Brian. Bryan Christopherson.
I gotta take this. It's Hap.
B. Rooney drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Bryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And we're joined now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline by Husker 247's Bryan Christopherson. BC, hello. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Sitting outside the spaceship Pinnacle Bank Arena right now with media access right after this interview. I actually timed it right. I got over here, so I'm in a spot to just do the radio segment, and I go right in. It was very professional, unlike how I usually do things.
Wow, this is good. It's one of the rare times where Fred Hoiberg didn't do a media availability like right during the time. It's just worked out today.
Yeah, he likes to mess with our heads, I think, a little bit.
He does.
I'm sure he gives any thought to that, but
Rent-free.
yeah, he did work around our schedule this time, and that was nice of him.
Yeah, good job. Let's go to let's do basketball first then, as they now head into this stretch where there's some easier games on the schedule. The tough road tests are over. The opportunities that you missed, you'll probably regret, but they do have an ability to kind of rack up some wins down the way here, although nothing's given. I guess, where do you feel like they're at going into the final 7 games of the Big Ten, where it does become a little bit easier on paper?
It does with who you play, although a couple of them are starting to trend upward, like Penn State of late, which they play next week. The other part of that, though, is the pressure is just as high because you don't want to, you lose to Michigan on Saturday, and you would rarely say this about Michigan basketball, but this year that's a bad loss, So
yeah.
It feels like there definitely is opportunity, which we've talked about on this show. Once they got to February 10th and beyond, like those 7 games to close, there's no reason you couldn't have a strong finishing kick and win at least 5 of them or something like that. But you have to go out there every night and get after it like it is Purdue in front of you, and like everything's on the line, because it really is. So hopefully, like on Thursday morning when they got back, together and talked it out, there was a feeling of a big picture look, maybe at like, hey, you're 16-8 right now, you're 6-7 in the league, you're kind of low mid 50s in net ranking. It's all there though for this season to still be everything that you wanted it to be. And well, let's get back on the horse and go after this. So they have had a difficult schedule set up because they've played more games in the league than other teams, and they haven't had a bye until this next week. But you got to fight through that and go out there and just show that you're that team that belongs in the dance now, and take care of business when people expect you to.
How many? Yeah.
Lock up the vault and win 1 or 2 on the road. That's what they got to do.
How many times will Fred Hoiberg talk about turnovers and offensive rebounds when you visit with him in about 10 minutes here?
I think that'll be like half the conversation. And I mean, I get it, because it's frustrating though. It's the 2 things that settle it so often. And, it was a disaster on Wednesday. It was 13-3 on offensive boards, and you give it away 17 times. They actually turned it over 18 times against Northwestern the first time in Lincoln, but got away with it because they out-rebounded them by 14. But I don't know. They gotta find something that's missing when it comes to rebounding away from PBA. It's like it's like in Space Jam, they lose the Monstars take their rebounding skills or whatever. So that's a real current reference. I guess they made a new one recently.
But nobody cares about that one.
Yeah, I'm loyal to the Jordan one. But yeah, I mean that I'm sure that's going to be like half the conversation we're about to have here in about 10 minutes.
Let's go on to football. Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7 is with us. So we had this weird crossover this week where it's like, oh yeah, signing day's here. And we got a couple minutes to comment on some of the new additions to the class, which is good. But then we quickly moved on to the other storylines, which was kind of always going to happen. Now that I feel like we've talked about this quite a bit and trying to piece it together over the last month or so, with Glenn Thomas being added to the fold, and now that Rhule's sort of straightened out any questions about who's calling the plays and who's doing what, the roles are sort of settled. I guess, how do you feel about the setup with the offensive coordinator, the quote-unquote co-offensive coordinator, and then the quarterback's coach now as well?
Co stands for collaborative.
Collaborative, yes.
Yeah.
Not cooperative.
No. Well, hopefully cooperative.
Yeah, hopefully, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I guess what I'd say first off is I appreciate that Rhule was just like right about it. Like, this is how it's going to be. Because we've covered teams here where coaches have left it wishy-washy about who's doing what sometimes. And I get that you don't want everybody like in your inner circle all the time, but what that leads to is just like rumors, and everybody's got a theory on who called this play and that play. And so I like that in February at least, that topic is sort of taken off the table for the off season. It all makes sense to me. I mean, Rhule always explains himself well, I think, about why their plan is the way it is. And with Glenn Thomas, he's got a big enough job with, 2 freshman quarterbacks and a guy who's really trying to grow on the job and bring up a 49% completion rate to build up their confidence and start from the ground floor and, make that a really efficient operation. So I understand what he said, how, like, if your OC were the QB's coach and you're running the air raid system, you would really want that. But in Nebraska's offensive system, which differs from that, there is an advantage to the play caller. I think, especially as they talk about this positionless offense as much as they do, working with the group that is the most connected to that, and the tight ends and the hybrid guys, your Fedonis, your Carter Nelsons, all those guys. I mean, that's a pretty deep room of guys who you have to figure out how they fit into the blocking scheme, how you want them to work in the route trees and all that stuff. And so for what Nebraska is trying to do offensively, it makes sense on paper. And now it needs to make sense when we get to the games, but we got a ways for that.
Rhule always talks about I love how he does this, but there's different sort of thought processes and theories on this based on what your offense is going to look like. But he always talks about playing quarterback, right? Like, you have to actually play the position and throw the throws instead of like have it kind of built for you. I like the way he sort of talk. Now I don't know what that ends up looking like for Nebraska competition wise. I think theoretically it gives you a better chance to develop those players, but I'm still a little curious. I'm like, okay, how does this all look when you throw that in with all the new personnel that they have, and then of course new members of the coaching staff as well?
Yeah, it's a huge job. I do like to. I was thinking about this when I was talking with Michael Brunt earlier about, like, on game days, there is something to be said for your OC's got to be that big picture guy who's like thinking about the next series and, okay, we did this, where are we going, on the next series to throw them off. And it's nice to have somebody who's just like in the headspace of the QBs, where that's like his job. Like, let's say one of your freshmen throws a pick in the second quarter in a September game, and he's coming over. You could see kind of he's discouraged about it. There is an advantage perhaps to having that guy who his job is that individual, while the other guy, Satterfield, is thinking about like the whole collection and like how are we going to get this off the going here after this turnover and all this stuff. So I kind of like that, and it just comes down to, I know sometimes people will be like, oh, the head coach they call him like the buddy hires, or of course they hired the guy that, that's the way this works everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you hire people that you trust and people that you've had success with before, and that I can leave him over there with these guys in that room, and I I have belief in what those guys are learning and how they're going to grow, because I've seen it at Temple with PJ Walker, who did make it to the league and had a pretty good TD-INT ratio, and Charlie Brewer, who grew into a winner at Baylor. So, much like Rhule's resume is what attracted Nebraska fans and gives them hope about what could happen, I think Glenn Thomas has a very similar thing on a lesser scale with quarterbacks, and so that's what you're hoping takes place here.
How deeply should we read into the praise that was heaped on Jamal Banks, and then you juxtapose that with the shortness of the answer on Micah Mazuka, a couple of transfers that came in for Nebraska? Obviously, there's still plenty of time to get whatever needs to get right to in the right direction. But when I hear a coach talk about a guy, in the community and how he's leading in points and stuff like that, that catches your attention. It doesn't mean anything for the football field, but it might mean something in the leadership department.
Yeah, and well, the thing with Jamal Banks is he's got the proof as a player too, so you feel like it's going to all kind of come together. So I thought that was a huge addition when they got him, and he said in interviews when he committed, like, I want to be that lead by example guy, and I'm not going to put myself above anybody or act like I'm better, and I'm not going to be below anybody. I'm just going to do the work, and guys are going to see that, and that's apparently what's going on. So, that's strong for a guy to come in who's got a resume the last 2 years where he's produced 650 yards or whatever each season at Wake, and he's not resting on his laurels. He knows he has to have a big year and get, gel meshed with this team, and he's doing a good job. As far as, Micah, Rhule's interesting. He'll say it about guys sometimes, and it's a challenge. And we've seen it work at times. Certainly he challenged Anthony Grant publicly. His senior season didn't take off necessarily at any point like you'd hope, but an example where it did was, people forget this, but the first week of spring ball last year, like, Tommy Hill was one of the guys who wasn't there one of the first days, and he got mentioned, and we're all adjusting the rule, of course, and figuring out what does that mean. And kind of from our background, we're thinking well, that might be you wonder, is that the end of the Tommy Hill experience, at Nebraska or stuff like that?
Definitely the way we were talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. For, a few days later, he's out there and we're taking pictures. He's talking to the coach and stretching, and he becomes one of his favorite guys over the course of the year. And if you look at what he did at Temple, especially Temple, where he dealt with some kids who had some really rough circumstances that joined his program, he would often have to show them that sort of tough love. And he had some really good examples of guys who made it to the NFL where they responded to it. So I kind of took it as that, an early challenge to a guy who has a lot of talent and you're going to need. But, you gotta go do it with your guys now, and you got to show you want it as much as everybody else, because there's somebody else who might want it more, and we'll play that guy if you don't want to match up with him.
No doubt. That's a great point with Tommy Hill. We definitely forget about that. I certainly did. And then he became one of their most talked about guys of last year. Okay. Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7. BC, enjoy the weekend. You got to pick Super Bowl, just a winner?
I'm going to say the 49ers win by a field goal, but
okay.
I get why everybody says the other, so I won't go on about it. It's one of those 3 to 4 point spreads either way, right?
2.5.
Yeah, I think it'll be a game that's down the wire. It's hard to bet against Mahomes, but I guess I will, just to be a contrarian.
You're doing it at your own peril. BC, have a good weekend, my friend.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7. Off to Fred Hoiberg's media availability. Well, he'll talk about turnovers and offensive rebounds a lot.
The sexy stuff.
Have you heard about turnovers and offensive rebounds? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I have seen and heard about both, yes.
Let's see how Michigan does in turnovers and offensive turning teams over in offensive rebounds.
Good projective stat.
They don't turn anybody over.
Interesting.
They turn they turn people over slightly more than Creighton does, which is 0. And offensive rebounds, good, not great.
Okay.
Top 100 in the country. There you go. we don't get lines for these.
Yeah, seems early.
Day out, but Nebraska, according to my little Ken Palm, is 7 points better than Meat Chicken.
Well, Ken Palm thing he knows best.
What do you think? So if we just added in a little zhuzh to that, little storyline, let's say Nebraska 7.5. Thoughts?
I'd be willing to take Nebraska in that scenario.
Okay. It would be a nice statement win for them.
It would.
Like, hey, this is not going any further.
The rumors of our demise have been greatly exaggerated.
That's the hope. If not, then we're going to have some conversations throughout this week because they don't play again until next Saturday.
We'll chatter. A week to chat about it.
It's going to get real scary if they lose on Saturday. I'll tell you that.
They're going to be on the CBI.
All right. We will come back. Josh will bring you the oddest of the odd news next on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-736-2098. Now, drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-736-2098. That's 800-736-2098. What do you have to lose? Call 800-736-2098. Again, 800-736-2098.
Creighton Athletics would like to thank Methodist Hospital and CHI Health for their continued support of the annual Creighton versus Cancer Pink Out Games. All funds raised support the American Cancer Society's Hope Lodge, Nebraska. Through continued efforts and financial contributions, we look to increase cancer awareness through this great event. Methodist Hospital and CHI Health, proud sponsors of the 13th annual Creighton versus Cancer Pink Out Games.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day, and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor or the pharmacy or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Put your coffee department in good hands with Host Coffee Service, providing direct delivery and loaned coffee equipment with service programs. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
72 Table and Tap hits the spot for creative food, craft beer, and bourbon, as in really good bourbon. 72 Table and Tap is just south of Ralston Arena, so stop in before or after the concert or game. Try one of the 20 beers on tap, any one of the 150 whiskeys. Please stop by for Reserve Happy Hour Wednesday through Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. with great deals on drinks and snacks. There's a reason customers keep coming back. 72 Table and Tap. Eat, drink, gather, repeat.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Allen and former Nebraska quarterback Adrian Martinez. You know the After Hours Lounge is open from 6 to 8 p.m. when the sports schedule allows. And guess what? I'm stopping by from time to time. When Rob loves off for the night, Adrian's going to stop by and talk all things Nebraska football, what he's been up to in the NFL, and we're going to still talk all things high school sports. And who knows what we'll get into. Maybe you'll get to ask me some questions, so stop by from 6 to 8 p.m. and check out the show. Brought to you by Bellevue University and Papillion Sanitation here on 1620 The Zone.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I never smoked a cigarette. How in the hell did I get lung cancer?
I don't smoke. I've never smoked. So I started Googling. One word just kept coming up, like it was in bold and red, and it was radon.
Radon is the number 2 cause of lung cancer.
Well, you don't know if it's in your home. You got to test. You can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't smell it.
What's your level? Radon Defense Midwest can help. Visit radonradio.com for a special offer. That's radonradio.com.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, it's time for the odd news. I haven't seen hardly any highlights from the whole waste management deal this week. What's going on?
I've heard of no
beer showers
falling into a trash compactor.
I haven't seen any. I guess today is when it kicks up, probably. Maybe tomorrow.
Friday.
I better see some highlights of some people hitting hole-in-ones on 16 and getting beer showers.
Is that the hole?
I need to see that. That stuff is electric. It gives me energy.
I know a handful of people in my life that are there right now.
I know it's become more and more popular every year. Eventually, we're going to be the only people who don't go.
A destination. Let's do the show from there.
Let's do the show from there next year. It's decided.
All right,
we're doing it. All right, Josh.
I don't know how to make something like that happen. Just not our problem.
Just keep saying it over and over. Maybe it will. What do we got today?
A man has been arrested for trespassing on the grounds of an Ohio library. And at 1:20 in the morning, police came upon him and said, "Hey, what's going on here? What are you doing?" And he said that a higher power allowed him to be at this library in the middle of the night.
I like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Specifically, Carnell Gittins, great name, claimed he had checked with Christ and secured permission, according to a police report. The 28-year-old was arrested outside the public library in Sandusky, Ohio, a town that young Tommy Callahan saved from ruin.
He did. He's a hero. Tommy sold 500,000 brake pads.
Gittins, who had twice previously been busted for trespassing at the same library, was charging his phone using an external power outlet.
So let's get this straight. God told him to go to the library.
Yep.
And charge his phone?
Charge his phone.
Interesting.
That's right.
I didn't know God worked that way.
Well, he works in mysterious ways.
He does. You never really know.
Connor, we're both of music here at 1620 The Zone. We're both familiar with the Red Rocks Amphitheater, I imagine.
I've been there. I haven't seen a show there.
You saw the guy rolling down the hill.
But I saw the guy rolling down the hill.
Volunteers at Red Rocks Amphitheater posted that they removed 50 pounds of gum from under the seats at Red Rocks Amphitheater last year.
That's just disgusting.
There is a nonprofit group, Friends of Red Rock, that meet monthly at the music venue to clean up the grounds in any way that they deem necessary. They wrote in a Facebook post that they recovered 50 pounds of gum.
That's a lot of gum.
As they were trying to preserve the magic of Red Rocks. And they noted that gum is not even allowed inside the amphitheater.
Really? How do you enforce that?
I'm not sure. I don't imagine they're searching for gum.
So I guess here's my one thing. I've talked about this a lot. I don't recall if this is the thing at Red Rocks, but there is an extreme lack of public trash cans.
Oh, really?
Just generally everywhere. I should be able to throw something away all the time. There should always be a trash can in my sight. I always want a trash can in my sight. And that's how you do this. That's where people would put their gum in the trash can if there was trash cans. So I don't know the trash can situations. I don't know exactly what the setup is there. But if it's a thing like gum, you know what you're likely to do if you don't see a trash can and you can't walk 10 steps to it. You're not going to swallow it. Just put it somewhere.
Right.
Put it somewhere around you. So I think there's some things that could be done here, but don't stick your gum on the rocks. That's dumb. But whatever.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I am fascinated with NFL players who win a Super Bowl ring and then end up losing it.
Oh, like misplacing it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they're stupid. It boggles my mind how you can just misplace a Super Bowl ring.
Same.
So I have some stories here of people who have misplaced their Super Bowl ring. Center for the New York Jets from Super Bowl III, John Schmidt, lost his while surfing in Hawaii. A lifeguard found it while snorkeling and returned it. He stashed it in his closet. That lifeguard died in 2011, and his kids were going through his stuff. They found the Super Bowl ring, gave it back to the Schmidt estate.
Do not wear your Super Bowl ring while scuba diving.
Mean Joe Green was getting out of a limo at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, dropped it. It rolled, and another car ran it over.
I mean, if you're Mean Joe Green, I guess you're probably making some appearances, you know, and that's part of the draw of getting Mean Joe Green, like he's wearing his Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
But if you're Mean Joe Green, Josh, how many days of the year are you wearing your Super Bowl ring? It's
30, 25.
Yeah, it's guaranteed less than 100.
Right.
Right. So it's less than a third of the time.
But also more than anyone else on the team, more or less.
That's true. I mean, so it makes sense to have this. It's like a spreadsheet idea. How many people have ever lost their Super Bowl ring? What's the percentage?
Steelers quarterback Terry Hanratty.
Kyle Hanratty.
Passed it around his daughter's kindergarten class, and one of the kindergartners tried to hide it in a book. That did not work. Cowboys receiver Drew Pearson lost his at Studio 54 one night. Let's see. Jim Plunkett lost his ring because he kept it in a fanny pack in his car overnight.
What are we doing?
And the car got broken into.
But have a space for it to put it in your house, and that's it. It's done. The only possible way it could get misplaced is if your kid comes up and starts flying around with it.
There's obviously the famous story of Vladimir Putin stealing Robert Kraft's Super Bowl rings. He's got many to spare, though. And finally, I bring you the story of Matt Chatham. Patriots.
Did you just wait?
What?
What did you just say about Vladimir Putin?
He stole one of Robert Kraft's Super Bowl rings.
He did?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
They were on like a boat or a yacht together, and he's like, "Hey, can I wear a Super Bowl ring?" And Robert Kraft goes, "Sure, yeah, you're my friend." Robert Kraft is friends with Vladimir Putin, and
totally normal.
And he gave him the ring, and then Robert Kraft said,
just walked off with it.
"Okay, it's time to give that back now." And Vladimir Putin went like, "What ring? What are you talking about? That ring that's on your hand right now. I need that back. That's my property."
That's an amazing story. I've never heard that before.
Oh, really? I thought this was a known thing. I'm sorry.
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing this. I wonder what he took from Tucker Carlson.
His career?
What an interview.
Totally worth it.
What an interview.
Matt Chatham, Patriots linebacker, won a Super Bowl 38. Three-time Super Bowl winning linebacker, special teamer, had his second ring misplaced. He took the ring with him to Sioux City, his hometown. While driving his rental car back to the airport, he took the ring off to relieve his swollen hands and put it in his lap. Quote, "I spaced out, and as I arrived at the Omaha airport, I stepped out of the vehicle to get my bags, and as I stepped up, the ring fell to the concrete. I heard it go bing, bing, bing down the road. Amazingly, after that scare, all the diamonds were held in place, but it was a moment of temporary terror."
Okay, so he found it.
He found it. He dropped it.
I thought that
on
there
the
was going to be a
ground
Super Bowl ring just hanging out in Omaha somewhere.
at Epley.
What if it went down like a sewer and it was in the drain somewhere?
I
would have dumped down into the river by now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Those are some good ones, Josh. And I learned a lot today, actually.
Learned a lot about Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir Putin.
Didn't have that in your wheelhouse.
Texter from the 308.
Hi, 308.
My high school girlfriend flushed my class ring down the toilet.
Oh, no.
Seems mean. I don't know why anyone would do that.
What did you do to warrant this? Now, I'm not going to say that you deserved it, but I'm going to guess she just didn't do that out of the blue.
Who are we to say, Josh? That'd be my guess as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
Derek writes in on YouTube, didn't Ray Finkel lose a ruby or a diamond from his ring?
I believe that's correct, yes.
I believe that is right. But Finkel is Einhorn.
Einhorn is Finkel.
Sorry for the spoiler alert. But if you haven't seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective by now, it's time to get on it.
Yeah. And also, people's opinion of that movie has changed a lot.
Has it?
Well,
what's going on? Why is it canceled, Josh?
Well, Nick would call it problematic. I would call it simply funny, but
ooh, I'd be curious. What do you think is problematic about it? What is
Finkel and Einhorn and Finkel? They don't.
It's funny.
Yes, I agree.
It's a joke,
but children of this current generation
are soft.
That's not what I'm saying.
I am.
Not what I'm saying at all. You couldn't make Ace Ventura: Pet Detective today.
You most certainly could not. And that's because of our children canceling things all the time. That's what happens when Nick's in charge of stuff.
Connor, I'm going to produce a show over the air.
Go for it.
I told our close personal friend Kate Rooney 10 a.m. Pacific, which would be noon Central.
That's right now.
That's not what our sheet says.
That's good.
So I want
I
want to make sure that
you know better than I.
We're literally on the same page.
Okay, we weren't.
We were not.
But now we are.
We are.
So coming up next is Kate Rooney, who covers the 49ers for KRON in the Bay Area.
That's on me.
We'll talk about the Super Bowl next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
What goes great with football? Rib Shack Down Home Barbecue and Soul Food. Let Miss Jackie cater your next event with slow-cooked St. Louis ribs, wings, beef brisket, and pulled pork. Visit the Rib Shack in Roxbury Plaza at 108th and Q or at ribshacksmokehouse.com.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
There's a lot more to love for a lot less at Salt's Jewelry and Loan. Now through Valentine's Day, get 50% off a huge selection of jewelry. Heart-shaped jewelry, gemstones, everything you need to show your love. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. It's the Celebration of Love sale with 50% off jewelry at Salt's Jewelry and Loan.
Like eating out? Like saving money? Then get to Cobb's at 180th and Center, Shadow Lake Town Center, or 72nd and Jones for their daily specials. Tuesday is $3 off all burgers and sandwiches. Wednesday, buy any specialty pizza and get a one-topping 50% off. Then Thursday, all wings are $1 each when you order 10. And this just in, all Cobb's locations now offer their own delivery service. Click CobbsPizza.com to see the menu. Cobb's, pizza, and so much more.
Betting on your favorite sporting events just got a whole lot easier. Warhorse Sportsbook is now open in Omaha. Save yourself the drive across the river and put your money where your mouth is at Horseman's Park, 6303 Q Street. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-813-8757 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-813-8757. That's 800-813-8757. What do you have to lose? Call 800-813-8757. Again, 800-813-8757.
Omaha Maverick Hockey travels to Kalamazoo tonight to take on Western Michigan. You can listen on News Talk 1290 Coil. Puck drops at 6 p.m. It's UNO at Western Michigan tonight on your home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
Woodhouse GMC is bringing you more for the new year. With every new GMC purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current finance offers going on now, you'll save even more. Receive up to $6,500 off MSRP on the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 SLT. Woodhouse GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit. Must have 2010 or newer trade-in to qualify. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires March 4th, 2024. See dealer for details.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back for the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hudson with you. Just a little over 48 hours away from the Super Bowl on Sunday evening in Las Vegas. We talked Chiefs yesterday. Let's go to the 49ers side. Kate Rooney from KRON in the Bay Area joins us now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. Kate, hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. Been in Vegas for about 72 hours, so I'm sure you guys know how that feels.
That's
But
okay.
yeah.
So that's not that bad. We had this discussion yesterday with basically your counterpart from Kansas City, and we're and I don't know what the line is, but it's somewhere around where you're at right now. 4 days is probably a little bit too long.
4 days is a little bit too long. It's one of those things where I'd been here for about 24 hours, got in Tuesday, but by the time I was having lunch on Wednesday afternoon, I realized it felt like I'd been here for a week already, but in a good way. It means you're cramming a lot of stuff in. There's no shortage of fun stuff going on this
Yeah,
week.
you don't know what time it is. You don't know where you're,
Right.
you just know, okay, here's what I'm supposed to be doing at this specific time. That was one of the things we talked about yesterday as well. Like, what's the setup been like for whether it's the media or just the events going on around the Super Bowl, and now we start to sort of transition into football. Like, how have you enjoyed the setup down there?
It's been really great. The Strip is just so accessible. You can walk from casino to casino, and so that's kind of how it's set up here. The media hotels lead directly towards where the Convention Center and Radio Row are set up in Mandalay Bay. That's also where the fan experience is. So tons of people milling around in this area. And then there's a bunch of installations and activations and other things going on other various parts of the Strip. So I would say Wednesday night, yesterday morning is when you really started to really feel that buzz. That's when a lot of the players' families started to arrive in town as well, when a lot more fans started to arrive. But the setup is great. I'm really impressed. I feel like this is a wonderful city to have a Super Bowl in.
Moving on to the football side, what has the team's reaction been, and even Brock Purdy's reaction been to all of the conversation about Brock Purdy for the last, really, it's basically been this entire season, but specifically right now as there's a giant spotlight on him. Like, how have they handled that entire thing, which is, for the record, getting a little bit overdone probably?
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you have, they used to have the Super Bowl the week after the championship games, right? So now having 2 weeks, there's nothing to do but rehash the same storylines. And like you said, this one's been a storyline all season long. I think it's really interesting because from the minute Brock Purdy took over the starting reins, we've all kind of seen how stoic and calm he is. Nothing ever rattles him. He never really shows any emotion when he talks to the press. From my observations, that's kind of how he is in the locker room too. I'll see him laughing or goofing around with a teammate a little bit, but nothing over the top. And when we've asked him throughout the course of the season, his reaction to hearing from some of those pundits, reading from some of those headlines, he always seemed genuinely surprised. You get the impression that he just does not seek out any of that outside information at all. People don't relay it to him, and he laughed it off for the most part. He doesn't feel like that has anything to do with him, the way he prepares. He knows his teammates believe in him, and that's pretty much all he cares about. It's a really different vibe from when Jimmy Garoppolo was with the team. They liked Jimmy. They all got along well. They considered him a brother. But they were doing a lot of defending Jimmy. They always got a little defensive when his shortcomings were brought up. Not the case with Brock. With Brock, they just brush it off and say, Brock's our guy. We wouldn't be here without him.
He seems to, sorry to cut you off there. He seems to have a pretty good understanding that, like, and especially this week when you're going to match up against Patrick Mahomes, it's easy to make comparisons and it's the biggest game of the year. But like, he seems to have a really good understanding of where he stands sort of in the hierarchy, regardless of what people think about him. I've appreciated that about him this week. He's not making a bigger deal out of anything, really.
Yeah, my sense is that he's been this way his whole life. He just feels that it is his job to play the game of football the best he can. He is prepared as he can be, use all the tools in his disposal. He's used to being underestimated, wasn't heavily recruited out of high school, certainly wasn't getting that much attention coming out of college, despite how well he played at Iowa State. And, you know, his coaches there will tell you that he made a huge impact on that program, kind of helped make that program relevant in their league. And so he's used to it. And all he's ever done is, like I said, kept his head down and played the game. And so you'll hear him say this week is no different. He's honed his preparation somewhat over the last couple of years, working with the different coaches that the 49ers have had. He gives a lot of credit to, you know, Bobby Slowick, Brian Greasy for helping him fine tune how you get ready for an NFL game, how you get ready for a postseason game. But even when he plays poorly, we've seen it over the course of the season, he'll often come back and have a really good game the following week. So he doesn't get worried when things don't go well. And that's such an underrated attribute in a quarterback, I think. He doesn't panic when he throws a pick. He just comes right back in and takes the next snap when it's his turn, and oftentimes it goes well for him.
We have the matchup of a couple coaches who are really well respected in the league and have won a ton, offensive, you know, masterminds. They're looked at as like, what does a good offensive game look like for the 49ers? If everything is on schedule for them, if they feel like they can do what they want to do, what does that look like for them on Sunday?
Couple of things. One, getting out to a fast start. That is something the 49ers did really well when they started off in that 5-game streak to start the season of wins. They were getting out there and scoring on their first possession every single time. And that's the tone they want to set. Kyle Shanahan also loves to establish the run early, and that was something that was kind of missing in those postseason games against the Lions and the Packers, particularly against the Packers. We didn't see Christian McCaffrey get very many carries in that first half, really. So that was kind of a surprise, and definitely not something that he plans to repeat. I expect him to get the ball in his playmakers' hands early and often, and just try to find an offensive rhythm that was lacking in those last two postseason games.
Yeah. And then on the defensive side for San Francisco, what do you like? How do you even start with, all right, so we know what their offense is. They have a pretty good run game. They're not terribly explosive. Their wide receivers have had problems this year, but then we also have to deal with Patrick Mahomes. Like I'm interested in how you go about defending that. Obviously San Francisco has the personnel to do so. Their defense has been really good this year. But like where does that go, especially with another week of preparation for both sides to sort of, you know, scheme things up and get guys in the right spot?
Yeah, I know that is really, I think, the matchup, right? It's Patrick Mahomes against the 49ers defense and how crafty he can be, how great he is at making those off-schedule plays. And historically, the 49ers have not done so well against Patrick Mahomes in those situations. I think that they really believe that these are two different rosters, even from last season when they played the Chiefs and kind of got smacked at Levi Stadium. But it is all about that. It's about trying to force Patrick Mahomes into making those off-schedule plays, making that his only option, taking away Travis Kelce if they can, which is also another really tough task. But more so than that, I think it's on the incumbent on the 49ers defense to execute, to get to the ball, to set the edge of the defensive line. Their front seven has not been performing the way you would expect, and that is not, quite frankly, just not going to cut it. So they need to put forth a much more impressive effort than they have been doing of late. They need to have gap integrity up front, and those are all things that they've really struggled with. You don't have a prayer of stopping Patrick Mahomes if you can't do those kind of basic things on the defense. So it starts there, getting back to those fundamentals. You know, Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan are kind of similar in the sense that none of them are too interested in the trickery when it comes to their offensive playbook and their game plan. So I don't think you have to worry about that too much. It's really about fundamentals and execution. I know it sounds simple, but I believe that that's what it's going to come down to.
It really is. It's really a simple football game when you kind of get into it and what the coaches are sort of all about. They're going to try and make it as complicated as they can in between, but it's kind of simple in the meantime. You mentioned something earlier and talking about how the Niners would love to get off to a fast start. I mean, it's a football game, but it's been specifically important for them this year. What has led to them maybe not getting off on the right foot so far in their 2 playoff games? And then, I guess what can they do to make that different coming up on Sunday?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. One, I think both the Lions and the Packers came into the game hot, which is always helpful in the NFL postseason, and the Chiefs are certainly the hot hand right now. And they also came in with nothing to lose, right? Both those teams played with their hair on fire from the very first snap because they both exceeded expectations this season. And so when that's the case, you can kind of come out there and do whatever you think you have to do, play almost recklessly in a way, as aggressive as possible. And they tired themselves out a little bit, as you could see over the course of 4 quarters. But also, so that's one of the things the 49ers have to be prepared for and not, kind of be on guard for, I guess you could say. And then the other thing is, again, I'm just going to kind of repeat myself here, but I think it goes back to really establishing the run. Christian McCaffrey just won the Offensive Player of the Year last night. Get him the ball. He was such a huge part of those early scoring drives that we saw early in the season, and he can do it almost single-handedly if you get the ball in his hands, right? So I expect that to be the method. And then with a healthy Deebo Samuel, a healthy Brandon Ayuk, and even though George Kittle has been limited in practice, he should be healthy too. I mean, they've got their full cadre of offensive weapons. I think Shanahan's going to mix it up and just try to make sure that they're getting a bunch of different looks that the Chiefs can't quite figure out early.
Kate Rooney, KRON in the Bay Area. All right, Kate. Well, you got a couple more days to grind it out and get through a long week in Vegas, but we appreciate you doing this. Thanks for your coverage, and we'll talk to you next time.
My pleasure. Great talking with you. Thanks for having me.
That is Kate Rooney, KRON in San Fran, or the Bay Area, I suppose.
Whichever you prefer.
Hey, look, anytime we get someone on who's like actually in Vegas, or I'm just going to talk about Vegas every time. I just want to ask about Vegas. I want to see what's going on in Vegas. What's it like to spend a week in Vegas?
You got the itch.
I got maybe a little bit. Yeah. Talking about it certainly gives me the itch. Watching all the coverage from the Super Bowl this week is certainly giving me the itch a little bit.
Well, you're going to spend like the next month out there. So.
We'll see. Yeah. I think so. I think that's the plan. Maybe we'll just stay out there for a little while. But like I said, I don't want to be there for 2 weeks in a row, but might have to at some point.
Got to do what you got to do, right? I mean,
we'll see. So I love that conversation at the start there, and then to finish with the what they do early, what both teams like to do early. It's something I want to get to, and we'll lay out some prop bets a little bit later on in the show. So I went back and I looked at how these teams have done on their first drives. There is a prop bet about first drives.
Ooh.
So San Francisco has scored, so they've played 17 plus 2, 19 games this year. And they, on those first drives, their first offensive possessions of the game, they've scored 9 touchdowns, 3 field goals. So they're scoring 12 out of 19 times. And then they missed a field goal once, so got a field goal attempt, right? Got themselves in position. 2 turnovers, 1 fumble, 1 pick, and then they've only punted 4 times.
Oh, no.
The theory is both of these teams they have really good coaches, and especially when they're on script, right? It's tied 0-0, you're up 7, or you're down 7-0, basically. Those are the situations in which you're going to have your first possession or you're have a field goal in there too. Mm-hmm. Kansas City less successful on first drives this season. They've punted 8 times. They've kicked 6 field goals. They've missed 1 of them. So they've gotten themselves 7 field goal attempts and scored 4 touchdowns. So they've got 11 drives where they've had the opportunity to get points. But like I said, they've punted 8 times and they've turned the ball over once. Mahomes threw 1 pick. And they had, both teams have sort of gone through their ebbs and flows of their season. Are you playing well? Are you not playing well? But that's been a key for Kansas City in the playoffs, and it's been a key that has gone against San Francisco so far in the playoffs. So which version of that will we get on Sunday will be pretty interesting. I'll lay one prop out for you right here then. So the either team to score a touchdown on the opening drive, either of them.
Okay.
Yes is plus 116. Given the stats that I just gave you, I think a touchdown by one of the two teams is pretty likely on our first drive of the game.
Okay.
On either one of their first drives.
Now, earlier this week, I went FanDuel Sportsbook there. I bet on both first drives to end in a punt.
Okay. So we're on opposite sides here.
Plus 300.
Okay. So you just went a little further odds. I mean, it's one drive after all.
So, and it's a Super Bowl. They're occasional. Now, both these teams have been here recently, so that might not be the case, but
I think
both teams tend to sometimes play conservatively in that first,
maybe
7 minutes.
But the Niners, given what's happened to them so far in the playoffs, are going to want so desperately to score right away.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to score every time, but I think there will be more urgency on that with San Francisco, given what's happened. They cannot get down.
You
can't do that in this game. If you do what you did against Detroit and Green Bay in this game, you're not coming back. It's Mahomes is just going to eat you alive.
Yeah.
They're just going to have possession after possession after possession.
You make the better case. I went, plus 300.
Ooh, look at that bright light.
Big number.
That's cool.
Congratulations on saying the largest bleeping number.
Thank you, Logan Roy. So we'll have some stuff on that a little bit later in the show, just with our props. We'll have some gap right after we talk to Steve Sipple. Mr. Sipple. What's he been up to? Why didn't he rank Carter Nelson number 1 if he loves him so much?
Pineapple.
Actually, he didn't get a vote, I suppose. But I wonder what it would have been. Maybe we'll ask him if he got one.
Maybe we will.
And then also on some things that Matt Rhule had to say this week, all to come with our best friend, Stephen M. Sipple, coming up on 1620 The Zone. But a quick reminder for you, along with many other things to do on our website, 1620thezone.com, here is one of the best things. You have a chance to win $5,000. Point blank, period. Head to our website, 1620thezone.com.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Previously on The Crossover.
A horny industrial
leather industrial. Sean has a lot of questions.
Yes. I do have a lot of questions.
Will John get any?
What is this horny industrial leather show?
Black Blade?
What made them industrially horny?
Should we just play 20 questions with this tweet?
What made them industrial horny?
Amazing question.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies for your Friday afternoon. Cooler, but still mild with a high today of 47 degrees in Omaha with northwesterly winds up to 10 miles an hour. Staying partly cloudy tonight and a little bit chilly with a low of 29. Winds remaining light out of the northwest. Partly cloudy again for your Saturday, a high tomorrow of 44 in Omaha. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
What goes great with football? Rib Shack Down Home Barbecue and Soul Food. Let Miss Jackie cater your next event with slow-cooked St. Louis ribs, wings, beef brisket, and pulled pork. Visit the Rib Shack in Roxbury Plaza at 108th and Q or at ribshacksmokehouse.com.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
No big game celebration is complete without a game of Squares. Circus Sports now offers Circus Squares bets. Everyone who has played Squares knows the pain of pulling terrible numbers. With Circus Squares, instead of randomly pulling numbers, choose your square and choose which numbers you get. With a minimum bet of $1 and a maximum payout of $100,000, it's easier than ever. Download the Circus Sports app and place your Circus Squares bets anywhere in Iowa. For more information, visit circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
Join me, Jimmy Allen, for the Creighton Athletics Hour. We'll be talking all things Blue Jays and interviewing your favorite coaches, so you don't want to miss it. It's the Creighton Athletics Hour, Thursdays, starting at 6 o'clock, only on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and your 1620 The Zone mobile app.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Allen and former Nebraska quarterback Adrian Martinez. You know the After Hours Lounge is open from 6 to 8 p.m. when the sports schedule allows. And guess what? I'm stopping by from time to time. When Rob Love's off for the night, Adrian's going to stop by and talk all things Nebraska football, what he's been up to in the NFL, and you know we're going to still talk all things high school sports. And who knows what we'll get into. Maybe you'll get to ask me some questions, so stop by from 6 to 8 p.m. and check out the show. Brought to you by Bellevue University and Papillion Sanitation here on 1620 The Zone.
All right, since Sipple didn't answer, at least not yet. So what'll happen here is we get about 1 minute into this conversation, and then Sipple will call back, and then we'll have to put a pin in that conversation, which I've already halfway set up, and then we'll get to Sipple, and then we'll have to reset up that conversation later. So without further ado,
how else would we do it?
Let's talk about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Actually, quickly, so softball, Nebraska softball last night. By the way, it looks like Creighton in their season opener got perfect gamed.
Oh, really?
It seems, and Nebraska in their season opener had their star player leave with an injury in the third inning. So not a great start to softball season around here.
No.
So here's from Luke Mullen, who covers everything for the Journal-Star. Jordy Ball's not in the starting lineup today in Nebraska's matchup against Duke. Speaking on the radio network of the Huskers, Rhonda Revelle said they are treating Ball's injury very conservatively and will evaluate further. Ball's left knee is the focus of concern.
That's not the ankle.
That is not the ankle.
No hits, no walks for Creighton yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, not so good on the start of softball season, but that's
who had the worst game.
That's why they play the season. That's why they play the season. That's what I always say.
Is it?
I'm telling you, I watched that Jordy Ball thing yesterday, and the video came up, and people are asking me for the video now. I am not trying to start a panic. I am not trying to incite a riot. That's what I'm not doing today, Josh.
Okay.
Today, consider me in the category of I don't want the smoke. No smoke for me.
Okay.
Because if I tweeted that out and I said, eyeball emoji, eyeball emoji, eyeball emoji, everybody would think that something horrible has happened.
Because you like sports more than any other person we know, so people would be like, oh my gosh, he knows what he's talking about.
So I am not doing that.
Okay.
But I did see the video, and I will say that everybody widely reporting that it was an ankle last night was very obviously incorrect. It's definitely her plant knee. She threw a pitch. Obviously they kind of jump off of the mound forward, and it just looked like the foot kind of got stuck in the ground a little bit, and then she was down on the ground. And she walked off generally okay, needed a little bit of help, but it doesn't surprise me to hear Rhonda Revelle say that the knee is the central focus of the concern for her. So, not a great start.
I hope you're wrong, Connor.
I mean, it is the knee. We know that. It is the knee is the focus.
They have said that.
We just don't know what it is about the knee. What about the knee, Josh? We don't know. Hoping for the best on Jordy Ball. Okay, Super Bowl. Sipple still didn't call in the allotted time. Now if he calls, we have to just push him to 10 minutes from now. Oh, unbelievable. Right at that very second. Okay, I will stop. I will not talk about the Super Bowl until we know what this is. Josh answering the phone. It is indeed our good friend, Stephen M. Sipple. Wow. What impeccable timing. Did I call that a mile away?
You did.
Okay, just making sure. Sipple joins us now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. Hello, Sipple.
How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Is the wind a factor?
It is.
All right, I'll be in my truck in a second.
Okay.
Just scrambling around. How's everything there?
It's good. It's good. We have the good fortune of being indoors and out of the wind, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think we're good though.
Okay. Well, we had a busy week this week. Signing day finished up, and then Matt Rhule talked for a little bit and kind of clarified some things and got some things straight. I've been asking sort of the same people the people the same question all week. Just your thought, I guess, on their setup on offense now that we know most of the factors at play, right? We know who the quarterback is going to be. We know who the offensive coordinator is going to be. We know who the quarterback's coach is going to be, and they sort of go from there. Like, what is your thought on the apparatus around the offense?
Oh, I mean, it's good to know the apparatus.
Definitely.
So, yeah. I mean, I'd say I feel good about it. I mean, you don't want to go overboard with any of this coming off of a 5-7, right? where he lost the last 4. But I mean, yeah, haltingly. I mean, first, just starting off, you know what you're dealing with, which is good. You know, pretty much personnel-wise, what you're dealing with. Not totally. I mean, those injuries. I guess I didn't fully expect the news on Corcoran. I was kind of hopeful that a couple of those, that Ramir Johnson and Gabe Irvin would be available in the spring. Malachi Coleman. We'll see where that goes. I'd say, I mean, I feel pretty good, but there's a halting. You know, if it seems like it's I'm a little bit hesitant. I am. I don't know what to.
Yeah, why are you hesitant, Sipple? Stop being hesitant.
Well, because you just don't. It's a tough league. A guy like Glenn Thomas is just going into the league. It's only the second year. You're talking about a freshman. We're probably talking about a freshman quarterback, and you don't know what some of these new guys have exactly. Although with Nayor and Banks, you have a pretty good idea, particularly with Banks. So we'll just have to see. But I do like knowing. I really like a coach who's that definitive. We haven't always had that. We haven't. I go back a long way, so I'm not just talking about one. It hasn't always been that way, but that doesn't guarantee anything because Mike Riley was pretty definitive. He's an open book. He was very transparent, but it didn't work. So that doesn't mean it means something, but it doesn't guarantee anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that, and then you combine it with sort of the praise of Jamal Banks and what he's done in the offseason, and then we'll see how the quarterback thing comes around. Like, it's a good picture to me. Simple. I don't have any problem saying it. Like, I can pretty much. They were so bad on offense last year, and they've addressed a variety of the things that should lead to them being better on offense. I don't know what the line is and what the bar is for me, but there's no way they're that bad again. There's just no way.
Yeah. I don't think they'll lead the nation in turnovers again.
You're right.
I don't think the quarterback position will have 25 of them. If that would happen again this year, then I start thinking about the curse as being something to look into a little bit. I can't believe that we'd see another year with that many turnovers, particularly from the quarterback position.
I completely agree with you. And the completion percentage for quarterbacks last year was 50 or 49 or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's exceedingly low. Yeah, there were some exceedingly low numbers, which Matt Rhule addressed, and I mean that's good. I commend him for it. He doesn't need my commendation, but there were some numbers that were. I said it a lot last season. It was extreme. When there's extreme numbers like that, 31 turnovers, you lead the nation, 25 from the quarterback position, which had to lead the nation. Yeah, you have to make changes. And I don't know, Happer, I do like the apparatus. I guess what I'm talking about is I like the apparatus. I just don't know what it's going to produce at this point.
Sure. Yeah, there's a pretty wide range of what it could, if you start at it's going to be better than last year, and you could go however high you want after that. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So, and you talked about Rhule and him sort of like, just saying things definitively. He talked about this a little bit at the press conference, just his sort of, I don't know, his comfort level and then his team's comfort level as we go into this portion of the year. I know it's probably overdone. Like, obviously the head coach is more comfortable the second time around than the first time around, but it was interesting to hear how much his team has benefited from that a year later, coming after the first year where they were just really digging into things now a year ago.
Well, everybody knows what to expect. I mean, that's a lot of it, but I mean, I say everybody, except how many newcomers are there? There's like, in spring ball, I think the number's like 23. Like guys that will be on the team for the first time.
Yeah.
So not to say everybody knows what to expect, but a lot, there's a lot of most of the people in the program know what to expect. Rhule knows better what to expect. He did address that a little bit. He didn't say the Big Ten, but he does know the Big Ten better now. He understands, quote unquote, this place. I think there's value. I think there's value in that. So, and then, if you go position by position, I guess the thing I'd say, Happer, is if you go position by position, offense and defense, there's nothing that you look at and just say, oh my God, they're in trouble.
No.
There's no position like that. I mean, and then up front, I would say they're in good shape on both sides of the line. So you have a pretty good starting point. I think any hesitancy anybody has is just a result of being overly optimistic and then being crestfallen at the end of season. So
yeah. Well, how many times, Sipple, have we been like, oh no, this time around is different?
Yeah, we do that all the time, right?
Right.
I mean, now there's some pretty strong evidence that it's real to me. And what I just said is probably the strongest, actually. If you just go position by position. And I mean, they did a good job of fortifying some areas that you wondered about. Like if they wouldn't have gone out and gotten Banks and Nayor, Jamal Banks and Isaiah Nayor at receiver, I would have said that's trouble. You can't. They had to address it, and they got two veteran big receivers. That was big. That's a for instance. If they wouldn't have gotten Stephon Alexander, inside linebacker, I'd look at that position and say, I don't know, they're a little light. They're not now. Really, anywhere you pick, you can't pick an area where you're just like, oh God, trouble. They don't have that, so that's good. That's a good starting point.
Yeah, we have this overwhelming evidence that they, and whatever it means. I think we went 5-7 last year, but it should increase in the win total based on all these things that we're talking about, whether it's returning production and changes that they've made, adjustments that they made. And then you wrote about this a little bit as well, but the idea of, it was brought up a lot last year. Hey, in Rhule's first year, they stink and they're not going to win hardly any games. And the other part of that was, well, in year 2, they're a whole lot better. Now that we had a little bit higher of a starting point this time around for them in Nebraska, does the same thing still apply? Either way, the positive effect going from year 1 to year 2 that has to still exist.
Yeah, I think so. I think Rhule's done a good job of getting things straightened out. But again, and I don't know, I thought the press conference the other day was really illuminating in a lot of ways. It was interesting to me the way he talked about the quarterback position and he did a good job of not, anointing Dylan Raiola, which, someone's got to earn it. But everything I'm hearing.
We don't even have to entertain anything else, Sipple. It's okay.
Well, here's the thing you got to entertain, though. You don't want him to, take it for granted, right?
Sure.
We can take it for granted. It's one thing for Connor and Sip to take it for granted that Dylan's going to be the starter. But if Dylan takes it for granted, that's good for nobody, right? I don't think he's taking anything for granted. What I'm hearing is sort of the opposite. He's gone in there and he's fired up. I think he approaches it like he's got this Hilton Resort, the equivalent of the Hilton Resort in the football arena. Everything he needs is at his disposal, and he's got to take full advantage of it. The other quarterbacks will too, though. And what Rhule said was really important. I asked him, do you start watching the quarterbacks immediately in winter condition? How important is it? He says it's really important.
Yeah.
They have to set the tone. It's a lot for for Kalen, Danny Kalen and Dylan as freshmen to come in, because you're dealing with men. Think about the guys up front, for instance, Bryce Benhart and those guys, Turner Corcoran, who's hurt, by the way, Ben Scott. These guys are older guys who have been through a lot. Now you have these teenagers, that are expected to set this tone. Well, it is. All that's a lot to ask.
That's definitely the next step for him, right? Like that's the next thing we're looking for. Okay, now you're here and you are probably going to be the starting quarterback. Then we got to start talking about like the leadership component and how have people adjusted and stuff like that. I tend to think simple. I look at this pretty simply sometimes. Like your play is responsible for a lot of this, and if you're the quarterback and you're good, then you're going to have a lot of people in your corner.
Yeah, play and also the way you comport yourself daily, practice, how you perform in the weight room. I mean, it is definitely performance, but it's just not Saturday performance at that position.
Definitely.
Generally, it's daily performance, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I try to get a handle on. And I think those three guys they have, the three scholarship quarterbacks they have, are all pretty intentional, but intent. And I wonder, though, I'd love to be around there all the time and just see who breathes the most fire.
Sounds like there was at least, and obviously the situation for them has changed quite drastically with the addition of Rhule, but the talk of the fourth quarterback thing was pretty interesting to me.
Yeah.
He was basically talking about how he likes having four quarterbacks, but they're kind of all in on these guys right now, and they're going to let him get more reps. And it sounded like he kind of convinced himself, yeah, we're going to be just fine with three. I wonder if there's like still a door ajar on a safety net quarterback coming in after, in the spring portal window.
Yeah, there is a door ajar. He alluded to it. Now, I think it sets up pretty well if it works out this way, and that is you have three pretty young guys, two true freshmen and a 20-year-old who's a fourth-year junior, but not all that experienced, Heinrich Harburg. Now, he said the spring, we want to get those guys a lot of reps. They need a lot of reps. They're young guys. So with three, you're going to get a lot of reps as opposed to six like they had last year. But he did leave open a possibility of a fourth. But my take, from what I gathered in his comments, that there's almost a preference that would be in the summer. That then somebody would join them in time for preseason camp, and you'd have another guy there. Tricky, obviously, because it's, who are you going to get? Who's going to come in? When you look at Nebraska's, you have Heinrich Harburg, who is 5-3, and then you have this 5-star recruit. Now, who wants to join that phrase? I think there would be somebody, but it's not going to be, the top-ranked guy in the transfer portal.
Probably nobody you've heard of, right?
Right.
All right, Sipple. Appreciate the time as always. We'll let you go. Enjoy your weekend. Have you thought? How much have you thought about the Super Bowl?
A fair amount. I mean, I'm very interested in it, which is different than a lot of years. Mahomes is an incredible. I mean, he's an incredible story, and it's a good matchup. I mean, it's gonna be the most watched Super Bowl in history.
Sure is.
I better take in some of it.
Yeah, I think so. You got a pick?
Yeah, I like the Chiefs. I cover my bases pretty well. I think on our Husker Online podcast, I might have picked the Niners. And sometimes it's just the more you look at a game, your thoughts evolve.
Uh-huh.
And I just don't know how you pick against the Chiefs. I don't understand. I mean, last night,
totally with you.
Why would I pick against the Chiefs right now?
I have no reason to bet against Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not starting in the Super Bowl. That's for sure.
But it's also an elite defense. That's the thing. It's Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey with a defense that's playing at an elite level. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's hard to bet against.
Might you make your way to Caitlin Clark Fest on Sunday afternoon?
I doubt it. I'll be. There's our radio station here in Lincoln has a party at a wings place, so I think I'm going to do that instead.
Okay, yeah, eat some chicken wings. That sounds like a good plan.
Chicken wings, yeah. That's what I'll do.
Good Super Bowl plan. See you later, Sip.
All right, thank you.
Steve Sipple of HuskerOnline.com. Yeah, I think I picked the 49ers, but I like the Chiefs.
The more you think about it.
Yeah. It's really amazing that what these 2 weeks do in between the games.
It's too much time.
It is.
I get why it is the way it is.
Exactly.
It's too much time.
It helps and it hurts. If you're looking to pick the game correctly, it probably hurts because what happens is you'll just overthink everything. And, your thoughts can evolve. For me, I this was one of the rare times I will usually do the thing that Sipple did. It's like, oh, this is a roller coaster. I think I've thought about this enough. Let's go with one side, and I'll make my pick toward when we get closer. For me, like, this was done a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
This was done. This was done probably before the AFC Championship game.
I watched both title games, and I said,
yeah.
I think I know.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back. We'll get our props out there finally. And we'll do that next on 1620 The Zone. Speaking of props, last year, the Super Bowl, Rob Gronkowski, our guy Gronk, he went wide left on FanDuel's Kick of Destiny, and he's back for round 2. This time, we're inviting you to play along. All you have to do is choose if Gronk will make or miss for free on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Get your free pick in right now, and if you're right, you'll win a share of $10 million in bonus bets. Everyone gets in on the action when Gronk takes his shot at redemption before Super Bowl 58. Team make, team miss. For the record, I am team make this year. Head to FanDuel Sportsbook, get your pick in. It is free. Then tune in before the game to see Gronk's kick live. You'll win a share of $10 million in bonus bets if you are right. If you're new to FanDuel, feel free to use the promo code Happer, FanDuel.com/Happer, and sign up. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. For no purchase necessary, $10 million prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who make the correct pick. Prize issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Hey fans, looking for the best seats without the hidden fees? Then you need to check out Tickets for Less. Whether it's Creighton games, Husker matchups, or big-time concerts and events, they've got you covered, all with no service fees. Now, you ready to score a deal? Use the code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and save on your next event. You prefer to go mobile? Grab the free Tickets for Less app and shop with ease. Every seat holds a story, so find yours and save when you use the promo code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and the Tickets for Less app today.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Darian. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Love is in the air at the Woodcliff Restaurant in Fremont, just minutes from Omaha at Woodcliff Lake. Fall in love all over again with the small town charm and the culinary excellence of the Woodcliff Restaurant. With the Woodcliff Restaurant Cupids creating a very special menu for Valentine's Day. Make your reservations today by calling 402-721-2922. Perfect for the whole family or even your Galentines. You'll love the Woodcliff Restaurant. Make your reservation today. Visit them at thewoodcliffrestaurant.com or on Facebook for specials and events.
Immediate openings available. Come join OSI Industries in Oakland, Iowa for Walk-In Wednesdays. OSI is hiring for production positions, first and second shift, with wages starting at $17.50 up to $23 per hour. OSI is offering a $2,500 sign-on bonus, a $2,500 retention bonus, and a great benefits package. Apply now at osigroup.com or by stopping by any Wednesday for on-the-spot interviews. Position requires lifting between 30 to 50 pounds. Come join a family-oriented winning team. Equal Opportunity Employer E-Verified. That's welcome.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Allen and former Nebraska quarterback Adrian Martinez. You know the After Hours Lounge is open from 6 to 8 p.m. when the sports schedule allows. And guess what? I'm stopping by from time to time. When Rob Love's off for the night, Adrian's going to stop by and talk all things Nebraska football, what he's been up to in the NFL, and we're going to still talk all things high school sports. And who knows what we'll get into. Maybe you'll get to ask me some questions, so stop by from 6 to 8 p.m. and check out the show. Brought to you by Bellevue University and Papillion Sanitation here on 1620 The Zone.
let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
I think we got a comment somewhere before.
We love comments.
Oh, HSNG Dragon.
Home Shopping Network.
I have never seen a less hyped Super Bowl, LOL. It's like nobody cares at all. I found that in this world, you can really shut yourself off to something if you don't care about it yourself. And you can really dive into something. So in our world, Josh, it's this and Caitlin Clark.
It's the only things happening.
And the
world.
net rankings.
Oh, the net.
Those are the things that are happening right now.
Love the net.
So yeah, I mean, it's different to everybody, I suppose. You can intake as much hype as you want.
Yeah. Or don't want.
And with that being said, we want the hype.
That's right.
So, without further ado, the 49ers are 2.5-point favorites against the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 58 on CBS. Thank you, Jim and Tony.
Jim.
Let's get to some picks and some props. We'll do the pick at the end, but you'll be able to tell which way I'm leaning on this one from some things I'm going to throw at you right here.
And things you said earlier in the week, like, I'm not waiting until Friday to reveal my pick to you.
Yes. And the fact that I just said I knew who was going to win 2 weeks ago.
At the end of the last segment.
Yeah. So it's a secret. Don't tell anybody.
We'll build the suspense out.
Christian McCaffrey, and I did this last night, so I don't think it's changed at all. Christian, it has moved a little bit. Christian McCaffrey is minus 210 to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
That does nothing for me, Connor.
Josh.
So
you got to pay that dough a little bit, baby.
No, I went.
It's a lock win. He's scoring a touchdown.
I went CMC first touchdown.
That would be fine as well.
Plus 340.
That helps you.
Yeah.
Now, if he scores a touchdown later, you're going to be kicking yourself.
Sure. I have him in some parlays with a bunch of other anytime touchdown scorers. So
Travis Kelce to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl is currently plus 105. He was minus 110 when I did this last night. Minus 105 last night.
I have him at plus 100. I did this.
So he's just floating
Tuesday.
Floating around, even. But it's amazing that Christian McCaffrey is minus 230 or was minus 230 last night. I'd still bet it. I mean, he's going to score. He's going to score a touchdown. Play the juice like he's a lock. He's going to come back and haunt me, but he's going to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We did the opening drive stats a little bit ago, but once again, I'll repeat them for you. I like to do some of this opening drive stuff, get a layup in early. You know what I mean? It's like, let's get me started on the right foot, and we'll dive into some longer play ones later. The 49ers in their 19 football games this year have scored 9 touchdowns on their opening possession. They've had 3 field goals, and they missed 1 field goal. So they've given themselves a chance to score in 13 out of the 19 games.
I really wish I would have known that.
It's a good number. They fumbled once, they punted once, or they fumbled once, they threw a pick once, and they kicked 4 punts. That's a good number. They're good on the first drive. I wanted to do this research to confirm what I knew about Kyle Shanahan and about Andy Reid, and that they're good at designing stuff and good at play calling. And we also have noticed that the 49ers are a hell of a different team when they get off to a good start. So that those numbers don't surprise me. Kansas City, on the other hand, 8 punts, 6 field goals, a missed field goal, 4 touchdowns. So they've given themselves a chance to score on 12 of their 20 games so far this year. In 12, first drive, we're talking first drives here. 8 punts and 1 interception by Ketchup Boy. So either team to score a touchdown on the opening drive, yes, plus 116. on the FanDuel Sportsbook as of last night.
I did both teams punting in their first drive for plus 300.
You love a big number.
I do.
Josh.
I
You
do.
love a big number. All right. So
it means a bigger payday.
On your punt deal here, we're taking the AB. The AB3, if you will.
Hell yeah.
Total punts over 7.5 plus 112. You hit that in the third quarter. It'll be just fine.
These are some defenses. So, yep.
It's not going to be just easy. They're not going to run up on each other all day long. We're getting 8 punts in the game. Might not seem like we have the opportunity at points, but trust me, we'll get there. We will get there.
Have a little faith.
Isaiah Pacheco.
I got one on him.
Rushing yards over 67.5. I don't love like individual player like yards props. I usually do like the anytime touchdown scores. But this is one that I saw where I was like, yeah, I feel like this is good. I feel like this is good. Isaiah Pacheco, 67.5 rushing yards over.
I
What's
have
your Pacheco prop.
I have a rush yard prop or a Pacheco prop. Which do you want?
Your prop Checo.
My prop Checo. I did a little sprinkle. I also have him first touchdown of the game.
Okay.
Plus 550.
Nice.
I love a big number.
You do. You can get obsessed with stuff like that.
Love a long shot.
I love doing this in playoff games, and I love doing this especially in the Super Bowl. First half unders. 23.5 is your number. It's minus 120. There's a little juice there, but I like the first half under. On the game total, I like the they set this one up for you with all the possible results of end of half and then end of regulation. First half winner with the result. 49ers first half winner. Chiefs end of regulation winner. End of fourth quarter winner. Plus 800. Plus 800 if anybody's interested in that. And I have a first touchdown score combo, which they offer to you with our friends from the FanDuel Sportsbook. You can get McCaffrey or Pacheco. McCaffrey or Pacheco for first touchdown plus 190.
Okay. That's sort of what I took them separately.
Why not do either or?
Yeah.
And you get your plus 190. I know you probably don't like it because it says 1 at the beginning. You're like, what? Where's my 500?
Plus is good. Plus is good, though.
Did you look at any of those mega plus 5,000s?
I did. I looked at all of them, and the only one I remember is first offensive play is a safety for like plus $1 million or something.
I love it. I love it. Oh, that's good. I was trying to pull up the other ones, but there's, like I said, there's so many options for you on here that sometimes it's difficult.
Coin toss. Who you like in the coin toss?
Who do I like in the coin toss, or which side of the coin?
Which side of the coin? Head or tails?
Oh, I'm tails guy.
Both are minus 104.
I'm a tails guy. That's the way I go.
These are great.
They're so funny. So have fun with it. Gamble responsibly, whatever. But have fun with that. And it's the Super Bowl, and there's many, many options out there for you.
Took,
by the way, tails minus 104, heads minus 104 also.
Yes. I took Brock Purdy 25 rushing yards or more.
Sure.
Plus,
I like that.
Plus 310.
I like that.
He did some running against Detroit.
Basically, what happens is, I'll be hanging out with some people tonight or tomorrow, and they'll be like, hey, I like this prop bet, and here's why. I'd be like, hell yeah, sign me up.
You can talk yourself into any prop bet.
No doubt about it.
I did an MVP sprinkle. Would you like to hear my MVP sprinkle?
I would like to hear it, but I don't see. It's tough for me to find the case that's not one of the two quarterbacks.
Mahomes plus 140.
Mahomes is plus 140 to win the MVP?
Yes.
You get plus money on this?
Yes. That's why I took it. Christian McCaffrey, because I kind of thought, like, if he scores 2 and the Niners win, they're not going to want to give it to Brock Purdy. So maybe they give it to Christian.
Sure, there's a case there.
Plus 440. And I also thought, if Travis scores 2 touchdowns, he might be famous enough to wrestle that thing away from Patrick Mahomes. Plus 1,700.
Okay. You convinced me. But no, it's going to be one of the quarterbacks.
I would
that would be my guess.
think so.
At this
That's why
point.
we got a safety bet with Patrick Mahomes there.
Final score: Kansas City 26, San Francisco 17. Chiefs have a lot of advantages in this one for me. I like the way that they've built the team, right? It is Mahomes, it is Kelsey. The wide receivers aren't net negatives at this point. A good run game and a really, really good defense and really good special teams. Their kicker doesn't miss. Probably missing this. Bucker will probably miss in the Super Bowl now. But
good job. You disrespected him.
Amazingly, we talk about San Francisco as the more like, oh, they're the more complete team and they do all these things. I actually think Kansas City is, and maybe the last 2 weeks have swayed that a little bit, but it is ultimately how you play in the playoffs and what have you done for me lately. So yeah, I like Kansas City and I like them 26-17, Josh.
Real quick, because I didn't get this in here. I am team make.
Team make on Gronk?
For Gronk.
Yeah.
And I have the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs plus 2.5, by the way.
Yeah.
But Chiefs 27, San Francisco 24.
27-24.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me look up your score on the FanDuel Sportsbook and see.
Oh, what would that pay?
Okay, so Chiefs 27, Niners 24. Okay, the scores are everywhere, and you just have to it's up to you to find it. So there we go. 49ers 24. Chiefs 20. I don't see it on here.
Interesting. Went off the board apparently with 27-24. What a weirdo score I picked.
But you'd have to give me a couple minutes. I'd probably be able to find it after the break.
Color of Gatorade?
Oh, 27-24. Okay. You had the Chiefs winning. I was looking at all the 49ers scores. Plus 5,000. One of the shortest odds, honestly, that's on here.
Yeah, sure.
And then I had Chiefs 26. I love that 26 number. It's a weird number. I love picking weird scores.
But it's not so weird that you're like, that'll never happen.
Exactly. So 26-17 is what I end up with. And that I do not see on here. Because there's only a couple scores that have 26 on them that are available to bet. 26-16 is plus 42,000. That's where we're at.
Orange is the favorite Gatorade, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, plus 300. Followed by yellow, lime, or green, whatever you would like to call it, plus 390.
Okay. I don't have a take on the Gatorade this year.
I don't either.
But we'll see when we get there. All right, we'll take a quick time out, come back. We'll preview the basketball. What?
Update on a story we brought you earlier this week. Chip Kelly has found his way out of Los Angeles.
Shocking.
Who needs an offensive coordinator? Ohio State. Chip Kelly to the Buckeyes.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes. On3 is reporting UCLA head coach Chip Kelly is expected to join Ohio State as its next offensive coordinator, per Bruce Feldman.
Okay, Bruce. This is real Bruce, right? Yeah, that's real Bruce. Yeah. Once again, Chip.
Get me out of here. Get me anywhere.
Yeah, he was just dying. He was scratching and clawing at the wall. Please, anywhere. Seahawks, OC, please. Ohio State OC, sounds like a dream. You can pay me $0 if you want to. I don't want to be the coach at UCLA anymore.
He apparently has informed UCLA of his intentions.
All right. Well, we could touch on that. We get a preview on the basketball when we return on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Progressive asks, what do a middle school slumber party,
Let's stay up all night. Yeah!
a sleep-deprived girl, an early morning paper route, and a poorly thrown rolled-up newspaper have in common?
Hey, my window!
They can become a fast-breaking news story.
Sorry, Mr. Thompson.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
It's a celebration of love at Saul's Jewelry and Loan. Now through Valentine's Day, get 50% off a huge selection of jewelry. Diamond rings, 50% off. Gold chains, 50% off. Bracelets, 50% off. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. It's the celebration of love sale at Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
There is only one constant in the universe, and that's change.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
I'm sure many of you remember the incredibly low interest rates that were available only a few years ago. Well, things changed. Now rates are higher. But would you believe me if I told you there was a time when people were paying double-digit rates? And that's the thing. Everything changes. Rates go up, rates go down. So if you're waiting for the perfect time when rates drop before you buy a home, you might miss out on the home you really want. So when you think about it, what's a thing today might not be a thing tomorrow. See? Change is good. I'm Brent Rasmussen. Call me at Mortgage Specialists, and we can show you all the details. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
Okay, 3 more climbers, 7 loggers.
Ted's sustainably sourced logging company is growing a new branch.
What about truck driver contracts?
Which means a new HR manager will be the first hire to fall.
Then we'll need to staff up the warehouse.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey fans, looking for the best seats without the hidden fees? Then you need to check out Tickets for Less. Whether it's Creighton games, Husker matchups, or big-time concerts and events, they've got you covered, all with no service fees. Now, you ready to score a deal? Use the code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and save on your next event. You prefer to go mobile? Grab the free Tickets for Less app and shop with ease. Every seat holds a story, so find yours and save when you use the promo code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com and the Tickets for Less app today.
Got the happy hour blues? Get to Cops for happy hour relief with 2 happy hours from 3 to 6 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. till close Sunday through Friday. Cops serves 24-ounce domestic drafts for just $3 and 24-ounce craft drafts for only $4, plus $2 off appetizers. The restaurant that offers great pizza, burgers, and tasty charred wings now offers 2 great happy hours. Visit Cops today at 180th and Center, the Shadow Lake Town Center, and 72nd and Jones, or click copspizza.com. Cops, pizza, and so much more.
News Talk 1290 Coil is the home of Omaha Maverick women's basketball all season long. Don't miss any of the Maverick action as they try to make their mark on the Summit League this season. Omaha Mavericks women's basketball is on News Talk 1290 Coil.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Absolute king bleep from Chip Kelly. That guy wants out of UCLA so bad, now he gets to coordinate the best offense in the country. He'll have success there. Why? Because Ohio State's more talented than everybody else in the country next year. Now, he does have Will Howard as his quarterback, so that would be the bugaboo.
He's got one arm tied behind his back, but I still think he can make it work.
So we'll see. People who haven't been tied into the Chip Kelly thing over the last couple of weeks are probably really confused
They
right
are
now.
floored.
They're probably like, oh, what now? He just left a sitting Power 5 head job, a Big Ten head job
for a Big Ten
OC job? Yes. You have to understand how much of a disaster UCLA is.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this from Josh Pate.
Hi, Josh.
Josh,
No relation.
Josh is good. 24/7 sports guy.
Well, yeah, he's a Josh.
Assumption is that the dynamic was 100% Chip trying to escape UCLA. I do not think that was the case. Not to say he didn't have motive to exit, but don't underestimate how much internal dynamics could have sparked that motivation. Well, that counts as trying to escape UCLA, I think. Internal dynamics. I think that's a lot of it.
Yeah. Almost all of it.
I think that's a lot of it. And I would put that in the category of trying to escape UCLA. We get this from Colin in White Plains, New York. Colin, shout out White Plains, New York, the home of my birth.
That's his people.
Those are my guys. Me, you, Colin, and Steve Max, the Simon Says guy. All from White Plains, New York. Handshake memes. He says this, with Chip Kelly leaving for Ohio State, you have to think that Tony White would be very interested in becoming the head coach at his alma mater. I just received a text from my UCLA friend that said, Tony White, come on down.
You keep him off your hot boards.
Zach emails into the show. Hopefully UCLA doesn't go after Tony White. Not again. We did this already. We already said no to everybody. We were going to have one more a year with Tony. Big Tone.
You don't want him.
This is a problem, Josh.
Yeah.
This is actually, I could see that. I could see that. Actually.
Boy, it sure would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
I could see that a lot. And if you're Tony White, it's something that, gosh, they play here next year too. No, Nebraska goes there next year. It's something that you probably just can't say no to. The timing would be bad, right? They already did this and had the whole thing, and now we're going into spring ball and we recruited. Yeah, the timing's not that bad from the perspective of, okay, they just signed their class. Like it's, this is when coordinators tend to move a little bit. But he wouldn't, if that came his way, I don't think he'd be able to say no to that.
The call of home, the call of the alma mater.
If I was scared with San Diego State, then I'm definitely concerned with this one. Now, with that being said, the problems at UCLA exist.
And are real.
Also, with that being said, Chip Kelly's not the easiest person to work with. So that's well documented over time too. So, oh my God, Brett McMurphy just tweeted this out.
Whose birthday is it?
It's regarding this situation. UCLA coach Chip Kelly leaving to become Ohio State's OC, Bruce Feldman reports. When Day was New Hampshire's quarterback, Kelly was New Hampshire's offensive coordinator. And then so good note, right? Last sentence. Expect Minnesota's PJ Fleck among UCLA's top candidates.
Whoa.
What's going on? What's going on here?
Many
Is
things.
it Big Ten on Big Ten crime?
Many things going through my head all at once. Who was it last week that said, this is just the way college football is now? People are going to leave for NFL jobs all the time because college sports is doomed.
Mm-hmm.
Also, amazing.
Take this, Clat.
Amazing Daniel with a great point.
Uh-oh. What is it?
David Shaw's kid plays at UCLA.
You're going to hire David Shaw?
Sure, why not?
He's
knows the area.
Is he TV this year, or is he working with an NFL team?
Let him coach up dum-dums for a change. See how well he can do.
Okay, Josh.
He did it with the Smarties. Now he can do it with the dum-dums.
I don't know what David Shaw was doing this year. I think he was on TV. He was just chilling.
I feel like I occasionally saw him on some Fox coverage somewhere.
Davo writes in.
Hi, Davo.
Only the media makes it sound like White wants a head coaching job and is leaving. The financial piece is in place, isn't leaving anytime soon. Yeah, guys.
What?
I didn't say anything about anything else except for it would be very difficult to say no to be a head coach for the very first time at your alma mater. Matt Rhule has literally said this out loud. He says, Tony White's going to be a head coach one day.
Matt Rhule, not in the media.
Tony White's going to be a head coach one day, and it's going to be soon. And the perfect job just opened up for... Perfect is a strong word, but a good job just opened up for him. That ain't just me, bud. You don't know ball.
What is
you don't know, Paul? Day 2.
What did Tony White get a raise to? How much roughly do we know?
$2 million.
The lowest paid coach in the Big Ten makes twice that.
Yeah, let's 1.6.
1.6. Greg Schiano and Ryan Walters make $4 million. David Braun makes an undisclosed amount of money.
UCLA will be in the Big Ten now. They will have they'll have money to deal with. Yeah, there's a lot of. I hope we hit the doomsday button and just go PJ Fleck time.
That'd be
sweet,
fun to watch.
That'd be awesome. I want to see Minnesota burn. Minnesota. Oh man, I got some texts to send from my UCLA friend, old co-host of mine. He's losing it right now. UCLA basketball is in shambles. UCLA football just lost their head coach to an OC job in their same conference. It's a nightmare.
They're gonna burn that place to the ground.
It's not good. It's not good. All right, we'll be back. Couple more. We should talk about the basketball games which are impending this weekend.
I guess.
Also, we could clean up Nudgegate if we have the time as well on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
If you're Iowa women's basketball, you got Caitlin Clark, gives you hope. Yep. Over the weekend, Nebraska softball had their fan day. They had lines everywhere.
Yes.
Jordy Ball gives you hope. All you need is somebody that gives you hope. Maybe Nebraska football has found that guy that gives you hope every time you show up to play a game. Michael Jordan gives you hope. You know that you got a chance. Even if you have your worst night, you're going to have a chance to win a game.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies for your Friday afternoon. Cooler, but still mild with a high today of 47 degrees in Omaha with northwesterly winds up to 10 miles an hour. Staying partly cloudy tonight and a little bit chilly with a low of 29. Winds remaining light out of the northwest. Partly cloudy again for your Saturday, a high tomorrow of 44 in Omaha. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
This is a sale so hot, Standard Heating and Air can only do it once a year. Right now, buy a Carrier air conditioner from Standard Heating and Air and get a free furnace. Now that's a hot deal.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
There's a lot more to love for a lot less at Salt's Jewelry and Loan. Now through Valentine's Day, get 50% off a huge selection of jewelry. Heart-shaped jewelry, gemstones, everything you need to show your love. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. It's the Celebration of Love sale with 50% off jewelry at Salt's Jewelry and Loan.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Immediate openings available. Come join OSI Industries in Oakland, Iowa for Walk-In Wednesdays. OSI is hiring for production positions, first and second shift, with wages starting at $17.50 up to $23 per hour. OSI is offering a $2,500 sign-on bonus, a $2,500 retention bonus, and a great benefits package. Apply now at osigroup.com or by stopping by any Wednesday for on-the-spot interviews. Position requires lifting between 30 to 50 pounds. Come join a family-oriented winning team. Equal opportunity employer, E-Verify, that's welcome.
Hi, I'm Mike Yam with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. 13th annual NFL honors and Lamar Jackson making history. At 27 is the youngest two-time NFL MVP since the merger, receiving 49 of the 50 first-place votes. Christian McCaffrey, the Offensive Player of the Year, while Myles Garrett won his first Defensive Player of the Year award. The future, it's bright in Houston. The Texans sweeping Offensive and Defensive Rookies of the Year. C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson taking home those honors. Joe Flacco, your Comeback Player of the Year, and the most prestigious award of the night, the Walter Payton Man of the Year, given to Cam Hayward of the Steelers. And the 2024 Hall of Fame class, it was announced, highlighted by a pair of defensive ends, Dwight Freeney and Julius Peppers. Andre Johnson also going to Kenton, along with Patrick Willis and the electric return man, Devin Hester. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life.
Hewitt!
So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt!
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
Woodhouse Buick is bringing you more for the new year. With every new Buick purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP plus 0.9% APR for 36 months on the 2023 Buick Envision Essence all-wheel drive. With approved credit, must finance with GM Financial. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires March 4th, 2024. See dealer for details.
Saturday, the Creighton Blue Jays are off to Cincinnati to face off against the Xavier Musketeers. Pre-game coverage begins Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Tip-off at 11:30. Blue Jay basketball Saturday on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
All right, one more quote from a UCLA fan in my sphere of influence. It's like watching a dude who killed your family member get locked up. I can't say I'm happy. I'm definitely still worse off, but at least there is justice. That's on Chip Kelly leaving today.
They hated him.
They hated him. They hated him, and he hated them. It was a very contentious situation.
He won 8 games, beat USC, won a bowl game.
Yeah.
Like,
can't have it all.
I guess.
You can't have it all. Just stay away from my guy, Big Tone. He's got some work to do. He's got one more year here. One more year. One more year. All right. And by the way, if not, Matt Rhule said it. Whether it's Tony White, whether it's somebody else, we're going to be good at defense. And they will be.
I'm going to hold you.
But I just like the idea of continuity year over year. All right, what do we do first? Creighton and Xavier or Nebraska and Michigan?
Let's not show favoritism to Creighton as you always do and talk Nebraska first.
Do I always pick Creighton when I ask you what you want to do first?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, here's the story on Nebraska. They better win tomorrow. Otherwise, there's going to be problems. That's the story.
You might hear from me if they don't.
Yeah, we should hear from you. And it would create the longest week of all time. So they play tomorrow, and then they play again against Penn State at home next Saturday, the 17th. They don't need that negativity in their lives.
No, you don't want those questions for a week.
You do not want those questions. You keep your head above water at home. You keep doing what you're doing at home. You say, hey, look, we win every game at home except for Creighton. But that didn't count. That's what you tell people. And you take care of business Saturday, and you take care of business next Saturday, and you find one something like that on the road. The math is going to work out for you. Am I worried about Nebraska's mental state tomorrow?
Oh.
Like
overconfident or
we can't trust we can't really trust them, right? They're kind of untrustable.
But can't you trust them at home?
I think so. Josh, let me ask you this. Would you do a 4-game parlay of Nebraska to win all of their remaining home games and feel confident that was going to hit?
I guess no, I wouldn't.
Michigan, Penn State, Minnesota, and the Gers.
Even though on paper, I want to stress that, I like my chances.
But it's
I would
still
be nervous
4 times
Yeah.
that Nebraska has to do it.
Even this late in the season, with a fairly large sample size of home success, I would still be a little nervous.
And with each passing win, the chances that you screw it up gets lesser and lesser and lesser. But, Michigan coming off a little newfound swag here with their win against Wisconsin the other night. They suck. Don't get me wrong. They stink. They're bad they're awful in defensive categories. I mean, just horrendous defensively. They're able to find some nights where they shoot the 3-ball relatively well. They're top 40 in the country in offensive 3-point shooting. But it's not anything special at the top 50 or 60 offense in the country.
8-15 overall, 3-9 in the conference.
It is a horrible defense. Here's what they give up when they lose in conference. Going back to Indiana. 78, 70, 73, 79, 64, 88. This is recently now. 88, 99, 88, 81, 69. But that was against Rutgers, who can't shoot the basketball. So I think Nebraska is a pretty good, they want to be in games that could get out and run a little bit, and where Nebraska can get into their flow and their pace that they want to be in. And I just think it works out well for them. So I don't.
Michigan's one road win is Iowa, where you're running and gunning.
I do think Saturday is the day where Nebraska will be able to take care of business tomorrow. So, but you also better hope they do. Otherwise, once again, Josh Odson, the cancel man, is going to make an appearance on Monday. Oh, yeah. And he's going to start smashing people.
Got some stuff saved up.
That would be a problem.
A lot of things were said to me over the last 6 to 8 weeks.
So that is the thing that you have to guard against. It's a pressure, but it's a different kind of pressure than we have to win today. We have to win today because if we lose, we're bleeped. Right? That's different than, hey, it's a big game. Right? So,
or they're all big. All conference games are big. All February basketball games are big.
This one, you have expectations. How's Nebraska been in a position where people expect a lot of them? Not very good. Not very good. So I hope Fred can press the right buttons. It's not about magic. It's not about anything like that tomorrow. It's about playing your game and doing your thing, and Nebraska's a better basketball team. So they should be able to do it.
Win by 1 point.
Yeah. Would you trust them to win by 7 if that was the line? I wouldn't bet them. I wouldn't bet Nebraska anything but the money line.
I wouldn't bet it, but I mean, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Confident Josh.
Talking out of both sides of my mouth, but
just know we're gonna hear from you if something goes awry on Saturday.
Kept receipts,
and hopefully that sets the tone while we're on Nebraska for Sunday. What do you want to happen at Caitlin Clark Fest 2024? What do you want? How do you envision this going? And then what do you want to happen? Caitlin Clark needs 39 points for the NCAA scoring record. Nebraska is fighting for their NCAA tournament lives against a very good team, one of the best in the country. And there's this sort of interesting concoction of all of those things thrown into a bit of a blender. For the record, I expect the game to be close. I think Nebraska will come up with a good plan to finally, defend Caitlin Clark. And you've seen it a little bit over the last couple of games with them. I know people don't pay attention to them game by game, but fortunately for you, I do. They've made a bit of a switch in their starting lineup geared toward we want to get out and run and go. And they have been able to run with Iowa at home for long stretches, for long periods of time, and then Caitlin takes over. So that's kind of what I expect. And I do think the record is in play. I do think, selfishly, I want her to set it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Selfishly, I want her to set it. I would love Nebraska to win.
For the sport, I want her to set that record on Fox. Obviously, the Super Bowl is going to swallow it up a little bit. The next game is at home. That'd be a great moment for her and that fan base. I don't want her to break the record on Peacock. I just think it would go.
Good take.
As pro Peacock as we've been on this show, I don't think it gets as much notoriety. If it's on Big Fox, people are going to take notice, even on the same day as the Super Bowl.
Good take. Yeah, I agree. It's a huge stage. It's a huge audience. Just gets to do it in front of a sellout crowd. She's got Nebraska ties, man. I've been consistent on this the whole way. I think there's part of her that wants to do it on Sunday. They won't force it, though. They won't force it. If they need her to score 40, which sometimes they do, then she will. And, it'll be quite the show on Sunday with 16,000 people there. Sold out. They have been for a while now. Xavier and Creighton. This is a very similar deal to the other night for Creighton. You're going into a place where the team you're playing, you beat them at home. It was tough. It was hard-earned. Creighton escaped a couple weeks ago when they played Xavier. You got to go to their place, which is a notoriously hostile environment, and that is a team that desperately needs this win. They need it so bad. Xavier does. And frankly, once again, they need it worse than Creighton does. They're playing really good basketball right now. They've won 3 in a row. They've won 6 out of their last 8, only losing to Creighton and UConn in that stretch of time. Xavier is good enough to be an NCAA tournament team. They just might not have enough wins to get there, which is a problem for them. Also, I would not advise losing to Delaware in December.
Yeah, 7-5 in conference, 13-10 overall.
Wouldn't advise losing to Delaware, but they played close with Houston. They played close with Purdue, and then they've played all these conference games really closely as well. That's a good basketball team. It's going to be really hard for Creighton. This would be a tough win. This is the tougher of the 2 road games, and they already lost the first one. And so for Creighton, you got to hope you don't get bit by the turnovers and offensive rebound bug anymore. But it's still like, even if they do lose, it's still like, okay, they've lost 3 in a row, but let's reset, let's regroup. A nice gift. Georgetown's coming in on Tuesday.
A get-right game.
Yeah, kind of is. I don't love Creighton in this spot. I just think Xavier at home in the afternoon, they need it real bad.
Big Fox.
They need it real bad. Creighton's going to have to dig deep for that one. I do not like Creighton. Sadly. Hate to say it. All right,
I want to believe in them, but they just haven't shown me enough lately.
That's the Hoops weekend. We'll be back. Poll questions, tell you what to watch on the other side on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more Da Vinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys. Make the right call.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Since 1972, family-owned and locally roasted Host Coffee Service has been roasting the finest coffee for businesses and restaurants. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Say there's a lot to do this season in Nebraska's outdoors. There's always hiking in the state parks. There's bird watching. There's trout stream fishing action. There's scouting for that spring wild turkey hunting trip. And there's looking for shed deer antlers in your favorite woods. So there's no reason to be a couch potato, is there? No. Get outdoors and enjoy. Well, it's time to get all your new permits and stamps for hunting, fishing, fur harvesting, and state parks. Time to check your motorboat registration for renewal. Time to make those cabin and camping reservations in the state parks if you haven't done that already. And time to go over all of your outdoor gear for spring and summer. Get more information on Nebraska's outdoor scene by going to the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. And that'll wrap it up. I'm Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment.
Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
All right, poll questions at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. You voted, and here are the responses. Ken Jennings, ? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
52% are saying no. That's a ridiculous statement made by the audience.
Ignorant audience.
Does Brian Hoyer look like a Vegas DJ? Not many people voted on this because I don't think anybody knows what Brian Hoyer looks like. 51% are saying yes, though, which is nice. Does Reba have plenty left?
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
A lot of gas left in the tank. 72% are saying yes.
She's very much alive.
And finally, is 8 grills too many grills?
Probably.
Too many grills.
Yeah.
We got a tweet earlier from Kent who said, I have 8 grills, and then called us amateurs. 68% say that 8 grills is indeed too many. But 32% say that it's just right.
Just right. Right number for me.
Those are the poll questions, Josh. What are we watching this weekend?
We'll probably watch the Super Bowl. Probably dip into that. Chiefs Niners, 5:30 start on CBS. Coverage on 1620 The Zone begins at 1 o'clock. If you would like the Chiefs pregame and postgame coverage, it is available on Coil. So we'll have that as an option for Chiefs fans. Reba will sing the national anthem. Post Malone will sing America the Beautiful.
Oh,
for some reason.
He's a beautiful man.
Andra Day will sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Usher will perform at halftime. The show on after the Super Bowl is something called Tracker. I imagine it will be a huge hit for CBS. A couple NBA games on this weekend on ABC. Suns Warriors 7:30 tomorrow night. Celtics Heat in Miami 1 o'clock on Sunday. College basketball, Xavier hosts Creighton. I have that backwards in my notes here. 11:30 start tomorrow on Big Fox. Coverage on 1620 The Zone gets underway at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I believe the Keg coverage begins at 11.
That's right.
He said unsure. Michigan comes to Nebraska 5:30 tomorrow night on BTN. The Mavericks are up north at North Dakota State. 1 o'clock tomorrow. You can hear it on 1180. Iowa State ranked 14th in the country. Hosts TCU. 1 o'clock tomorrow on ESPN2. A weird non-conference game between Gonzaga and Kentucky at Rupp Arena. 3 o'clock tomorrow on CBS. Gonzaga might want to go ahead and win that one.
They're going to need to.
It's tough task, I know. But number 13 Baylor at number 4 Kansas. 5 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPN. And the Iowa Hawkeyes host the Gophers 2 o'clock Sunday on BTN. And women's basketball, Omaha hosts North Dakota State 2 o'clock tomorrow on 1290. Caitlin Clark and number 2 Iowa come to the Vault noon tomorrow on Big Fox.
Sunday,
yes, I'm sorry. Or TikTok, if you'd rather watch it on TikTok. And
maybe I should TikTok it.
That's right. Yeah, just go live. 1 o'clock Sunday on ESPN, number 11 UConn at number 1 South Carolina. Kind of interesting there.
Sure.
Wrestling is on tonight. BTN has number 5 Nebraska against number 9 Michigan at 6 o'clock tonight. 7 o'clock tonight on CBS, Super Bowl's greatest commercials. Boomer Esiason takes you through a 1-hour countdown of the best commercials of all time. You get True Detective early because why would they air their show Sunday night at 8 like they normally do? It will be available tonight on HBO and Max.
Good move.
And of course, Connor, a tradition unlike any other, 1 o'clock on Sunday on Animal Planet, Discovery, TBS,
no, don't,
True TV,
no.
and Max.
No.
It is Puppy Bowl 20. 131 puppies will be featured from 73 shelters and 36 states, including 6 puppies with special needs. The contestants have names from Bark Purdy to Guy Ferrari and Patrick Mabones. The 2 teams are Team Rough and Team Fluff. The winner takes home the Lombardi Trophy. Individual awards include Most Valuable Puppy and the Underdog Award. Connor, Team Rough or Team Fluff?
I am going to become an adult film star and name myself Patrick Mabones.
Patrick Mabones. Yep. That's just $1 million idea floating out there for everybody.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is what we're watching this weekend. That's the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is next.
Brittany Mabones.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The NFL action keeps getting better, and DraftKings, the leader in fantasy sports, just dropped a brand new app, Pick Six. Pick Six is the newest way for you to get in on the fantasy football action with DraftKings. New customers can make their first NFL picks and get up to $100 back in Pick Six credits if those picks lose. Getting started is simple. Download the DraftKings Pick Six app and sign up using code 1620. Just pick between 2 and 6 NFL players and choose if they're going to have more or less of a stat. For example, will a player have more or less than 100 rushing yards, or will a player have more than 1 touchdown? Track your lineup and compete against others for a shot at huge cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Pick Six app now and sign up with code 1620. New customers can get up to $100 back in Pick Six credits if your first football pick set loses. That's code 1620. Only on DraftKings Pick Six. The crown is yours. One offer per new customer. First qualifying pick set winnings less entry fees must generate negative number. Max reward up to $100 equal to amount of negative number. Issued in non-withdrawable Pick Six credits valid for Pick Six use only. Expire after 1 year. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Valid only in states where DraftKings Pick Six operates. For up-to-date list of states, please visit dkng.co/pick6states. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com.
What goes great with football? Rib Shack Down Home Barbecue and Soul Food. Let Miss Jackie cater your next event with slow-cooked St. Louis ribs, wings, beef brisket, and pulled pork. Visit the Rib Shack in Roxbury Plaza at 108th and Q or at ribshacksmokehouse.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing